You said that you love winning. What drives you more, the love of winning or the hate of losing?
Maybe equally, maybe both. I don't like losing, and I do like winning.
Say his name and he appears.
This is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Greetings and welcome to Winning Tonight. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you are all doing and living well. Let's start the show off by thanking all those awesome people in the winner circle that support the channel on a monthly basis. Thank you so much for being part of the solution. And a big thanks to Shelly and Wolfram who support us over on Rumble as well. We are broadcasting live tonight on Rumble, YouTube, and X. And away we go. All right, tonight is just a Friday edition of Winning Tonight, where we kind of recap the top news and updates of the week. And we have a couple special presentations as well. Tonight, we're going to take a look at the James O'Keefe expose on the deep state actor who confessed to how they obstruct. We did a little bit of a teaser on that last night, but we will watch the entirety of it tonight and the confrontation as well. We will also start out this evening by taking in a brief, like about 12-minute news conference with Trump standing beside Air Force One, Trump Force One. I don't know which one he's got. He's got the big one now, I guess, whatever that is. He's got the presidential one now. So I guess it's Air Force One, right? And he's taking some questions from the press there as he arrives in North Carolina with Melania by his side, looking good. The prettiest, most beautiful first lady we've ever had in history, along with one of the greatest presidents that we've ever had. How about that? Isn't it great how that works? It works out really nice, doesn't it? Well, I appreciate you guys joining me here on a Friday. I'm doing an additional show, a Winning Tonight show this week, because we spent a lot of our time this week reading through executive orders, making sure that we understand what all those are about and why they're being put in. So great news all the way around with those. Those are going very well as Trump is ushering in a new golden age for America and thus the world. And we are going to go right along for the ride with them. Let me see here. We also, I got to say at the start of the show, got some very, very good news today. Very good news. And things are moving along with a particular project we have in mind, something we've had in mind for a long time now. I can't give you all the details as it has not officially been arranged, but we have made great strides towards having it happen. And we should be lining up for a spectacular event here on the channel that will be monumental and historic as far as the channel goes. So if that goes through, you guys are in for a huge treat and a huge night here on the channel coming up very soon. But let me work out the details on that, and I'll be back to make the grand announcement when I do have those solidified. But let's say hello to this awesome crowd out here. How you guys doing? Good to see you. Hey, Heidi, how you doing? Thank you for being here and over on Rumble. Welcoming all these people in. I appreciate that. And Wolfram, how you doing, my friend? Thank you for dropping these links. Remember, when you're here, to always listen to the wolf. He knows what he's talking about. He wipes his paws, he loops in, and he howls. And that is how you know the alpha mod is in the house. Welcome, Wolfram. All right. T-Rex Trucking in more says, hey, hey. Hey, hey, what's the N word tonight, T-Rex? What's the N word tonight? What we got for you? K Marshall, awesome to see you. Awesome to see you. Thank you for being here. Always a great. So as technically speaking, Air Force One is any plane the current president is on the designation of the flight. S technically speaking. What's S mean? Typo mean? Yeah, while you guys are here, make sure that you subscribe to Shelly Talking Trash. She's right there. She's our hostess with the Moses, and she has an awesome channel too, and she needs lots of love over there. Uh, and she helps with the healing from the inside out. Inside out. She's our hostess with the Moses, giving out big hugs as everybody comes through the door. And awesome to see her as always. And check out T-Rex Trucking and More's site as well, his page as well, where he does live stream trucking. You can just put it on and take a ride across America and see this beautiful country from the eyes of a real life trucker who is out there making sure that you get your goods and making sure that your favorite stores have the supplies they need to keep you alive and well. And that is T-Rex Trucking No More, a great American hero out there on the roads. And T-Rex, have you been doing streams lately, T-Rex? What's going on with that? Wanda E, hello, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Out in the front row, Wanda E is out in the front row with the crowd here. And we got Tammy Bugard. Do you say Bugard or Bogard? It's probably Tammy Bogard, but you put Bugard to accentuate it, right? I'm guessing. I know I've known some Bogards in my life. I have. So Tammy, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here in the front row with all these awesome bass people who are part of the solution night in and night out. Thank you so much for being here. And I tell you what, man, I wish hey, and there's Valhalla Awaits. Valhalla Awaits. What's up, my friend? How are you doing? How is it going, Valhalla? We've been sending a lot of people over to Valhalla lately to check out on those new baby goats he's got. Those baby goats are so cute, and they do all kinds of fun stuff. And he's a great guy over there, one of our neighbors here on YouTube. And he's a cool dude. In fact, you can sub to him anytime you want to, right there by following those links. And we also did a great interview together where you will get the inside nitty-gritty details that he gave no one else about his past and how he came to do things he does today. So you definitely want to check out that interview between myself and Valhalla Awaits. It is one of the best ones out there. But like I said, good news on the horizon in the interview category, as we are working on a major event here for the channel. This will probably be one of the biggest things we've ever done in terms of that right there. That gives you guys a little bit more of a hint at what I'm going towards here. But I would say that if this goes through, things will maybe never be the same, because it will be a crowning point in the history of this channel. I will go that far to say, but it looks really good. That's why I'm telling you about it. It looks really good. That's going to be happening. So I feel confident enough to start to hype it up a little bit, but I want to make sure that it is down and scheduled before I tell you the exact thing that's going to happen. But I'll tell you guys, for all of you who stuck with me and have been here and who are part of this winning team, you are going to be thrilled. You're going to be thrilled. I'm not gonna downplay that. You're going to be thrilled, and you're going to be excited, and you're going to be happy that you were here to see it. That's all I can tell you about that. Good stuff, though. Good stuff. All right. Yeah, man. Let's see. What else we got here? Hey, Valhalla, saying hello to the crowd. Say hello to the crowd, Valhalla. So whenever the president travels internationally, he actually takes 2 BC-25s, so you never know which one he's actually on. That is great. And you should have like a full escort too by the best fighter pilots in the world. That would be awesome. Like I said, one of my dad's best friends, brother. Okay, and I got this right now. Brother was in the Marines, and his brother actually flew helicopters for the president. The helicopter the president flies on. He was one of the helicopter pilots for that. That was way back when, though. Not anytime recently. Not anytime recently. But you know, it's always fun to talk about these things. You actually heard the pilot of one of these presidents get on as soon as the president gets on the board, and he announces we are now Air Force One. Oh, cool. But they have an actual plane called Air Force One, right? Like that, it's got all the super. Because we did a review on it on Cool Things on our weekend show, Winning Saturday Night, the segment we do called Cool Things, and we looked at Air Force One and Trump Force One. Trump's private plane. We talked about that. We talked about how they were doing different things to make sure that we couldn't run into a situation where someone tried to fire a rocket at them or something like that. Yeah. So I think there's an actual plane called Air Force One, but I agree that anything he's on is probably Air Force One too. So I follow you, man. Hey y'all, I'm cooking, or I'd individualize my greetings. I totally do a blanket greeting when I come into a place, and I hope everybody knows that is an individualized blanket greeting that I do. I'm saying hi to each and every one of you at the same time, but yeah, I'm usually in the middle of something too, Bahala. I understand. Being a creator, man, you're always doing something. You're always working on something, or you got to take care of your individual life, your 3D life. So it's the best we can do. But I always say, you're when you're in the band, you're not usually out there dancing in the crowd too often, but you do want to walk in. You walk around the side, kind of side stage, and say hello to everybody. That's the way I was. That's the way I was raised in the entertainment industry. For what it's worth. In ya, out ya, in ya. Myers is here. I'm 4 minutes behind on winning speed. Yes, I love that. And I swore winning just said, "Hey T-Rex, what's the N word tonight?" Well, it's always the same. Let's see, but no, tonight is what's the more for? Yeah, what's the more and more and more, not inward and more. But I know you just sped in my ears. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. So we're gonna start. Yeah, let's see. Hold on, one more. We've got this conversation going. Yeah, those planes, the two Boeing 747s, are known to the Air Force as VC-25. They're kind of colloquial and known as Air Force Ones, but they're not technically Air Force One unless the president's on it. That makes sense. That makes sense. I thank you for enlightening us, Mr. T-Rex Trucking and more. So big announcement made, schedule for tonight, greeted the crowd. We're on our way, guys. And I appreciate you guys always being here. No matter where you're at over there on Rumble. What's up, Rumble? Let me say hello to you. Now out there on X and our poor little X channel that's now our new X channel that's rebuilding itself. After our big X channel got taken down unfairly and we cannot reach a human being to get it put back unsuspended. But I have hopes that one day we'll reach the point where we can actually just get a direct message to Elon. Hey, can you help us out here? I think we may be getting closer and closer to that. Who knows? Who knows? You have to stay tuned and find out. But anyways, we're going to start tonight out by checking in with our great president, Donald J. Trump, and what he's doing. He went today. He said, after I got everything done, I had to get the first couple of days done. I'm going to get out there and see these people that have been suffering through these devastating natural disasters and who haven't been treated right by the previous administration. The corrupt establishment we just kicked out. Those guys. Yeah. So I wanted to start out this evening by having a quick rundown on what of his initial comments were to it, but we'll have some fun just kind of like watching our president do his thing. He is on fire, and this is the golden age, and I'm so happy that we're all here to be a part of it as we take on whatever may come our way. Let's do it. What do you say? What do you say? All right. Well, I'll find it. There it is. Okay. I love how they mix all these up. All right. There we go. All right. Here he is. There it is. There's that VC-25. And when the president's on it, known as Air Force One. Look at the presidential seal right there at the bottom. It's very nice. I'm sure he's gone ahead and gotten the old man. All that. Ugh. Yeah. Yep, the Air Force Two is a BP, right? That's what I think too. That's what I've been thinking. There he is. Look at Melania. She looks like she's going skiing. I'll have to go skiing. We're just gonna enjoy this moment here. Let me see. Make sure I got it turned down here. Can we speed him up? Yeah, let's just enjoy it. Look at that. So happy to see him walking back down those steps. Marine One. There you go. Thank you, Valhalla. Marine One. Shaking hands. Look at that. Oh, it's a cordial. I can speed up a little bit of it, huh? There we go. A little bit of airplane noise there. We'll keep that down until he starts talking, because that's always fun to listen to, isn't it? That's always fun to listen to. Hey, look, I'm a president that can walk up and down steps without stumbling. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what happens when you got your mind on the right things and not sniffing little kids' heads. You know, you can actually make it up and down steps without falling. He greets them instead of just walks by him. Yep. Not in a hurry to get out of there. There to do business, there to give people time with the commander in chief. Absolutely. Right on. Cranking up here on a Friday night. I got a lot of different news. Hey, Memento Mori, what's up? Good to see you, my friend. We got a lot of different aspects to look at, different things of different reactions. Man, the deep state's in a major cope mode right now. And people, they're starting to realize that they didn't have as many allies as they thought. But they're still going to try to do their dirty business. So we got to keep an eye on those guys. We got to keep an eye on them. There we see Trump is just chit-chatting and having a good old time. See, this isn't going to be that long. Eventually he'll get over here to he'll start walking away and come on up to the mic, Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much. Everybody thought I was going to California. I said, no, I'm stopping in North Carolina first because they've been abused by what's happened. I mean, it's terrible. It should have been done. It should have been, a lot of things should have happened that didn't happen. So we're here. We're going to fix it out. We're working with the gentlemen behind me, and you know who they are, and we're going to fix it. And
yes,
we're going to
fix
it as fast as you can. It's a massive amount of damage. FEMA has really let us down, let the country down. And I don't know if that's Biden's fault or whose fault it is, but we're going to take over and we're going to do a good job. We're going to assign Mr. Watley, who's fantastic, frankly, and the governor and everybody else that's going to work. We're going to supply the money, supply a lot of the money. Maybe you have to chip in something. You'll chip in a little something, like maybe 25% or whatever. But we're going to get it done as quickly as we can. And we want to take care of the people of North Carolina. It's so interesting. Everybody's talking about California, and that's a mess. But I said, I'm not going to California until I stop in North Carolina. So here we are. We're going to go visit the site. And
nice.
We're going to work with probably 3 of the congressmen, Republican congressmen, who've been fantastic, whose areas have been affected. And with Michael Watley, the governor, and whoever else is, we decide to get involved. Probably less FEMA, because FEMA just hasn't done the job. And we're looking at the whole concept of FEMA. I like, frankly, the concept when North Carolina gets hit, the governor takes care of it. When Florida gets hit, the governor takes care of it, meaning the state takes care of it. To have a group of people come in from an area that don't even know where they're going in order to solve immediately a problem is something that never worked for me. But this is probably one of the best examples of it not working. And there's been some others, like in Louisiana, etc. So we're going to be doing something on FEMA that I think most people agree. I'd like to see the states take care of disasters. Let the state take care of the tornadoes and the hurricanes and all of the other things that happen. And I think you're going to find it a lot less expensive. You'll do it for less than half, and you're going to get a lot quicker response. So that seems to be the recommendation, but we'll be making that recommendation over the next couple of weeks. We're going to go to the site now, and we're going to figure out a plan for really demolition and cleaning, because not a lot's been done. And we're very disappointed in the Biden administration, but we're going to make up for lost time. And I said I'd do that, and this is about the earliest we could possibly be here. And we're honored to be here. This has been a great state. They're great people, and they've really been mishandled. But this group is going to be great, and we're going to get it taken care of. Any questions?
All right, stop there at the questions so we can do this very important thing. Grimsbar knows how to make an entrance with a $5 super chat. What's up, my friend? How you doing, dude? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing great, man. It's always an honor and privilege when you come by the show, and I really appreciate it. He says 460 illegal aliens, undocumented persons in a day. Those are rookie numbers. 14K a day for 4 years to undo the damage of Biden. Oh, I think it's more than that, man. I got a few videos tonight we're gonna look at, but I think that might just be kickoff numbers. I think we will get to your number and exceed it in record time. Like you wouldn't believe. I think we'll get there. And thank you so much for the $5 super chat and supporting the channel, man. I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate you as a friend, man. So I'm happy that you're here. And wouldn't let you send the words illegal or alien. Hopefully that changes. YouTube needs to get its act together before it falls off, because these days we're not the censorship crowd. We're not into that shit. So they need to start like letting us speak freely. And President just issued an order about the federal government not getting involved and allowing us to exercise our First Amendment rights. So hopefully that will trickle down to platforms like YouTube. And who knows? I'm sure that our great president has some things in mind that may help that out. We'll see. You never know. He likes to surprise us with cool things like that, you know. And by the way, guys, you can check out the great work of Grim's Bar right here on his YouTube channel. If you'd like to, please go ahead and subscribe and enjoy the fine work of Grim's Bar. There you go. All right, let's listen to these questions.
Do you expect to ask Congress for additional aid for North Carolina and California?
It will be direct. In other words, the aid will go through us. So rather than going through FEMA, it will go through us. And I think maybe this is a good place to start. Because, and in all fairness to the governor, and in all fairness to everybody else, FEMA was not on the ball. And we're going to turn it all around. Yes.
A lot of Americans think that this is symbolic of what your campaign was all about. America first, putting your priorities to Americans. Even going to California, where their policies might have been one of the biggest reasons why they've had these problems. But you're putting American people first. Your thoughts on that?
We are. Thank you. I like that question. Boy, I want more questions like that. That's even a statement. Thank you very much. He's a good man, that guy. And he's also a very professional reporter, I have to say. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're putting America first. We're putting, in this case, North Carolina and California. We're going to do a good job in California. That is a disaster like, I don't know if we've ever seen anything like it, frankly. They say the biggest in the history of California. I think, has anything bigger than that happened in the whole country ever? It looks like, I don't want to say what it looks like, but you know what I'm going to say. It looks like something hit it. And we won't talk about what hit it, but it is a bad, bad situation. And
that statement right there got a lot of traction today in the grift realm. And they know we hit it. Something hit it. What is it? Oh, leave it ambiguous, man. And the grifters will grift. They're like, oh man, well, what can that mean? Oh, he was talking about a laser beam. Oh, he's talking about weather. Oh, he's talking about this, talking about that. We don't know what he means. Honestly, we don't know what he means. 357, what's up? How you doing? We don't know what he means by that. Looks like something hit it. We'll see. You know what really hit it? Cultural Marxism and communism. That's what really hit it. On the cultural level, wrong people in charge, wrong people in positions of power and responsibility, wrong approach to crisis management. All of that is cultural aspect of it. Communist aspect of it is what they were doing with the funding and how they were running the show from a financial standpoint and a management standpoint. So it was a double whammy of Marxism that really, 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 and you can see how a bad idea can translate into so much trauma and abuse, right? Just by being an idea. And the idea permeates through people's actions and beliefs, and it turns into this in the long run. It festers, and then it emerges in these bursts of crisis and then burst of loss. So it starts with a bad idea. It always starts with a bad idea. And then it starts in the belief and enablement of that bad idea. And then those things flourish into physical reality as it becomes part of the trauma and abuse that people suffer because of the evil intent of these bad ideas. And that, you know, if you come here often and you hang out and you've been here a while, you get that concept. And for those of you who are new, that's the kind of stuff we talk about, and that's how deep we go down the rabbit hole here on Winning Reality.
I guess I'm going to meet with some government officials, but I mean, much more importantly, and in California, just to revert to it for a second, millions of gallons of water are waiting to be poured down through already the half pipes that are already built. I mean, they've been up for 40 years, and about 20 years ago, they turned off the water. And it's the water that comes from the Pacific Northwest.
It's abuse.
Some of it comes out of Canada, and it flows there, and it probably has flowed there for a million years.
Bad idea.
And they turned it off, and they routed out to the Pacific. And in the meantime, you don't have water in the hydrants. You don't have water in the sprinkler systems. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And everyone's trying to figure out, why aren't they turning it back? They say it's the Delta smelt. It's a fish.
The
but
Delta
I find that
smelt.
hard to believe, but we'll figure it out. And without doing that, you're going to continue to have problems.
President, what are you prepared to do, sir, if OPEC doesn't respond to your call to cut oil prices?
Well, we want to see OPEC cut the price of oil, and that will automatically stop the tragedy that's taking place in Ukraine. It's a butchering tragedy for both sides, by the way.
It's an interesting approach.
A tremendous number of Russian soldiers are dead, tremendous number of Ukrainian soldiers, and a lot of people are dead from the bombing of the cities. But right now, it's just bullets whacking and hitting men, mostly men, almost in all cases men, and they're over 1 million men are killed, and they're losing thousands of people a week. It's crazy. It's a crazy war, and it never would have happened if I was president. Would never have happened. This is crazy that it happened, but we want to stop it. Now, one way to stop it quickly is for OPEC to stop making so much money and to drop the price of oil, because they have it nice and high, and if you have it high, that war's not going to end so easily. So OPEC ought to get on the ball, and they ought to drop the price of oil, and that war will stop right away.
Mr. President, funding to Los Angeles because of its sanctuary city policy?
I want to see two things in Los Angeles: voter ID, so that the people have a chance to vote, and I want to see the water be released and come down into Los Angeles and throughout the state. Those are the two things. After that, I will be the greatest president that California has ever seen. I want the water to come down and come down to Los Angeles, and also go out to all the farmland that's barren and dry. You know, they have land that they say is the equivalent of the land in Iowa, which is about as good as there is anywhere on earth. The problem is it's artificial, because they artificially stop the water from going onto the land. So I want two things. I want voter ID for the people of California, and they all want it. Right now, you don't have voter ID. People want to have voter identification. You want to have proof of citizenship. Ideally, you have one-day voting.
It's
but I just want
California
voter
red.
ID as a start, and I want the water to be released, and they're going to get a lot of help from the U.S. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a little while. We'll see you at the site. We'll see you at the site.
The deportation flights, where are they going from? Where are they going to?
Deportation's going very well. We're getting the bad, hard criminals out. These are murderers. These are people that have been as bad as you get, as bad as anybody you've seen. We're taking them out first. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Woohoo. Yeah. So the military is actually flying people out at a record pace. So we'll see. I think that number is going to go up, man. I don't know where you heard 460, but I think that, man, I get the impression it's a lot more than that. And there's also people that are self-reporting as well. I got a couple pieces on that tonight. Let me see here. We got troops going as ordered to the border. And all of that. Let me see how I want to do this here. Oh, yeah. Well, one thing I want to do is go back and refresh this. Stop this here. Give me 1 second to get this organized. Hold on. Wait. T-Rex is chatty tonight. He's got a lot of good things to say. T-Rex trucking and more. We know exactly what he means. He means it looks like a nuclear bomb hit it. It's crazy if you compare the pictures of Hiroshima to Pacific Palisades, but it's clearly just an exaggeration. Right. When you leave it ambiguous, you know what's going to happen, right? You know what's going to happen. He meant laser weapons. No, it's climate change. No, it's laser weapons. No, it's climate change. One side and the other. The imagination is a powerful thing. It is. Did I refresh this? Oh, hold on. I got to sort it back to the newest. There we go. And to follow up, yeah, this is a good follow up.
Hey, y'all.
And we'll listen to our friend over at Polit Brawl real quick. Let's see. Brawl, that is. Is he going to talk over the whole thing or just we're going to watch? Well, he's clipped this out pretty nicely, so we'll give him a spot here. What do you say? Let's go.
And welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and this woman embodies the true rugged nature of the spirit of the people that live in Appalachia. And of course, it's President.
We had only purchased in May, and it's a big church. We're a small congregation. And I had people say, what are you going to do with this big building? And I said, only God knows. And we had our dedication, and the storm came the next week. And the outpouring of people, my son brought the first load of supplies. And from there, I stayed there for about 3 months. I slept on the floor for about 3 weeks because the need was so great.
Okay, I'm not sure that I didn't think that was, I thought that was something different. My bad, I had that out of order. So let me go ahead and pull that back. And let me take another look at my list here. All right. A little disorganized tonight. That's all right. I got lots of cool stuff. Do you know Fauci had his there we go. Fauci had his Secret Service repealed. Well, I guess since you've gotten that pardon, you really don't need him, do you? You know, that pardon will protect you, right? So let's get these all lined up. Let's do border stuff right now. Let's go border. I think that's it. Madcore, what's up? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Oh man, how's things going down there in the land down under? How you doing down there, man? You kicking ass, taking names? Of course you are. You're Madcore. That's what you do. See, I thought I had some stuff on the flights being the military flights taking people out. Already in the list. That's kind of what I'm looking for. But let's just go with this one. And I think it might cover it. Let's go.
Gun. Donald Trump is deploying 1,500 troops to the southern border. Reports of deportation raids are already underway. Asylum access has been cut off to those seeking to enter the country illegally. And now we are hearing that Donald Trump intends to send an additional 8,500 troops to the southern border. And dare I say, my friends, it certainly makes a lot of sense. You want to make an argument to me about the deploying U.S. military assets, Ukraine funding, Israel, Taiwan, you name it. Make your arguments, and I'm going to stop you right there and say California's on fire right now. If we're going to send the military anywhere for any emergency, let's see what our various men and women in uniform who have signed up to help and serve this country can do for us where it actually matters. That is, those ravaged by the hurricanes and those in California facing serious disaster. Now, okay, you might be saying, Tim, we don't need active duty troops to fight a fire. They're not equipped for it. Maybe there's something we can do. Okay, I know, because the next step would be, how about we use our armed forces to defend our nation? It's a novel thought. Call me old-fashioned, but I think those who sign up to protect and serve this country should protect and serve this country, not be in faraway lands fighting for
good news
what?
There.
Contractors, hegemonic power. I know, that's too cliche to say. It's unfair, because it's a simplistic argument. But what are they really doing? And I say the military-industrial complex, the machine state, what are they really doing with these incursions in these foreign lands? Now, I get it. We want global authority, supremacy, the petrodollar, etc. It does, in a sense, protect American interests in that, we utilize the force of the military to prop up the petrodollar, which means we don't have to do anything here in the United States. We just print the money. Okay, I'll tell you this. Right now, we have, 20, depending on what source you're going to go to, you're going to see estimates ranging from 11 million to 20 million illegal migrants coming in to the United States. And this is one of the largest mass migrations in human history. So Donald Trump, he's going to send some troops down to the southern border, and I'm here for it. And as I already mentioned, ICE raids are underway. And, you know, I don't want to bury the lead in this one. It's too good. It's too good. And I know I got a comment there like, you see how Tim's doing the hand thing like Trump? I'm doing it on purpose. I'm doing the Trump accordion hands because I'm talking about Donald Trump. This one's too good to bury the lead on. So let me just show you this from NBC Boston. And we'll get to it. I'll go back. After federal agents spotted in East Boston, concerns grow over potential ICE raids. Oh, the poor criminal immigrants who break our laws, violate our goodwill. Heavens, what will we do? We are so worried. Okay, here's WCVB Boston's news leader. New York man arrested during human trafficking raid.
Nice.
In Alston, Boston police say.
Nice, ICE.
Uh-huh. Now, I know you're probably saying a New York man, Tim. Listen, we are conducting law enforcement raids. And they're saying, oh, heavens me, we're so worried. But bad people are getting arrested. So don't come to me and say, oh, no. I'm going to say, we have laws in this country. It is shockingly insane. I will tell you this, my friends. At a certain point, you are aiding and abetting criminals, and I want to see law enforcement action. Now, Trump has given the green light to use military equipment for migrant repatriation, they call it. Yeah, okay. You know, I'm going to say it again before we get into all this news, my friends. I don't understand how the left can make an argument that giving someone a ride home is torturous.
Yeah, right?
Literally.
Free ride home.
You come over to my house uninvited, and you knock on the door, and I say, okay, fine, I guess you can come in and hang out. And you do, and then midnight's rolling around, and I'm like, my dude, you got to go. And they're like, well, I have no way to get home. And it's like, okay, I'm going to call you an Uber.
Yep.
They're going to drive you home. And then, oh, egad. Why would you do that? Forcing them to leave your home? Well, I'm giving them a free ride. They didn't have to come here.
Dude.
No one told them they could stay here. We actually, in fact, told them they couldn't, and they came anyway.
Rides cost money. Uninvited guests get a free ride home.
Like Donald Trump giving people a ride back to their home countries is so awful. Yeah, but at my house, we don't have Buffalo Wild Wings. No, the left is going to say that they're asylum seekers and it's dangerous. No, get out of here with that garbage.
No.
When I think it was the New York Times or the LA Times interviewed migrants in the caravan coming through Mexico. Literally, you had a quote from a guy who says, I miss Buffalo Wild Wings. And I know it's not indicative of all of the sentiment coming from many of these people. They do want a better economy, and America certainly got it. But they're economic migrants coming for a better life. So it's like if your homie showed up to your house, you've told him not to come, and it's because you got a big screen TV and a PS5, and you're playing Marvel Rivals, and he's like, bro, I really want to play that game. And you're like, yeah, but you can't stay at my house, dude. I let you stay here. I was being nice. I'm getting you an Uber home. But if I go home, I won't be able to watch movies or play Marvel Rivals.
I know.
And that's just too bad for you. Sorry, guy. I have no obligation to give you my stuff.
Right?
Before we get into the news from the AP, make sure you head over to timcast.com and click join us, because we've got 3 episodes of the Green Room behind the scenes show hanging out at CPI. It's I believe their Heritage Foundation. I don't know. Conservative Partnership Institute, really awesome place in DC. Bumped into a lot of really cool people. And behind the scenes, we are talking with Angela McArdle about how she got willing to take to prevent illegal immigration, which is spicy. But hey, that's a country that has a law. Wait till you hear what he says about how Poland is dealing with this issue, because spicy, I'll say the least. And also castbrew.com, all that good stuff. Here's a story from the AP News. The Pentagon said Wednesday it has begun deploying 1,500 active duty troops to help secure the southern border, putting in motion plans Trump laid out in executive orders shortly after he took office to crack down on immigration. Acting Defense Secretary Robert Salesses said the troops will fly helicopters to assist Border Patrol agents and help in the construction of barriers. The Pentagon also will provide military aircraft for Department of Homeland Security deportation flights for more than 5,000 migrants. The number of troops and their mission may soon change, Salesses said in a statement. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, he will.
In short order, the department will develop and execute additional missions in cooperation with DHS, federal agencies, and state partners to address the full range of threats outlined by the president at our nation's borders. And we have updates.
Right on, man. Thanks for being here.
The Washington Post. Trump shuts off access to asylum, plans to send 10,000 troops to the border. A briefing document provides an early glimpse into real-world application of Trump's executive orders on immigration at the border. And look what they're doing. These are the dirty games they play, my friends, and I am not going to tolerate it. It's a picture. It says a woman on the Paso del Norte International Border Bridge in Ciudad Juarez,
Now show the
Mexico,
gang members.
learns the appointment she made to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection CBP-1 application has been canceled soon after Trump was sworn into office.
I mean, look at that. This is the way they subvert people. This is the way that they subvert people, right? Emotional triggers. Emotionally triggering picture of the poor lady. They're not showing the 100 gang members or the criminals or the people that are doing bad things to people like this who have been coerced and manipulated into coming and crashing our border. They're not showing that part, right? They're going to show you the poor little old lady crying because bad Trump, right? That's the way it goes. You know who owns the Washington Post? You guys have any? You guys know? I'm sure this crowd knows. This crowd's based as hell. You know who owns the Washington Post? Not somebody from America, someone from Mexico, right? Someone from Mexico owns that. Someone who's made a lot of money, probably on things like this that we still don't know about, but they got a lot of money. They got a lot of money, and they're influencing it. So there you go. You get the poor woman who had her appointment canceled, which she never should have made in the first place or been able to make in the first place. And that's going to get everybody upset. Look at Trump did it to that poor lady. Meanwhile, they're not even thinking about Lincoln Rally. They're not thinking about all the other people that have been harmed, hurt, how much money, how bad it's made our country because of these policies and this manipulation. Like I said, these people, most of these people that are coming to our border are victims of abuse. They're being abused on the way here. They were abused by being manipulated to come here. And once they get in, they're again abused. You know, it seems like it's all well and good once they get in, right? Because they get a bunch of free money and free benefits and stuff like that. But the abuse continues, especially if you're a woman or a child. As we saw in the documentary Line in the Sand, it's very much a racket. It's very much a racket. There we go.
Why choose this photo of this poor woman crying? Because they're attempting to manipulate you.
Am I thinking of the right publication? I thought it was Carlos. What's his name? Carlos somebody. The Carlos guy. Carlos. The crowd will come through for me. The crowd will come through for me on this one. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's get through this.
You would play is not stories of this woman seeking a better life. The issue at play is that fentanyl has been pouring across the border. Gangs have been trafficking children. And I'm going to tell you this. If even one child is trafficked into slavery, shut it down. I don't care. You want to come here for a better life. You're not supposed to be coming here illegally as it is. But I can certainly understand when our government, Donald Trump, says, we're going to have enforcement action. We will process asylum requests and we'll keep it to a minimal number. I'm like, there's arguments to be made. But the moment we learn that it is not all just people saying, please help me, I need a better life. It is actually traffickers and gangs. I say, sorry, you guys got to go. Okay. You turn around and you go to the port of entry and you fill out the form like anybody else, because we will not tolerate a single child being sold into slavery. Sorry. We were talking the other day about the TikTok ban, and you guys know where I'm at on that one. And Angela McArdle made a point where she said there are people who run stores on TikTok and they sell mugs. Like, why should they have their access taken away over censorship or these other issues? And I'll say it again. I get it, but I will not.
All right. So I stand corrected. The it is Bezos, but who am I thinking of? This guy, the Carlos dude. He owns something else. He owns another big publication. I'll think of it. I'll get it. I'll get it straight.
Have my heartstrings pulled to manipulate me into allowing evil people to do evil.
Yeah, Tim sees it.
TikTok.
And Bezos,
okay, I don't want to get into the whole debate. But if there
you.
is a risk to our security through data spying, data collection, and propaganda from the Chinese Communist Party, I'm not going to sit here and be like, but won't you think of the people who sell mugs? You can sell mugs on any other website. Thank you and have a nice day. That's the game they're going to play. The cartels, no. The corporate journalists who support child trafficking, and they do, no. Get this picture of the crying woman. How about you show a picture of an angry, belligerent gang member with an automatic rifle grabbing a children by the neck, screaming, saying, why can't I continue my operations? Show that.
See? We're seeing it the same way here.
Show that. That's what Trump shut down.
Yep.
It's emotional manipulation, and I'm not here for it. You're not going to manipulate me. Sorry. Some people are going to fall for it. It's like that meme. It's someone says, "Oh no, the child is crying. Quick, burn the Constitution." Yeah, sorry, we're not playing that game. They will always attempt to manipulate you. Now, Trump is going to send 10,000 troops.
Tim, say the word subvert. Say subvert. Just say that. Say that next time.
And you know what? Like I said,
you're right.
Okay.
Everybody's right.
If you tell me that we want to send troops to the Middle East or to Gaza or these other places, I'm going to be like, why?
I'll think of the Carlos.
Seriously, we have to break down the circuitous path you see that the United States benefits from this. And don't get me wrong, there's arguments to be made. We got troops in Syria regarding oil fields and we're pumping out oil. And you can make arguments about how the Saudis want access and control, and those alliances strengthen the petrodollar, which makes life in America inadvertently better. Whatever your argument is, whatever. But if it comes to our border, which has been under siege for a long time by criminal gangs and cartels, I mean, look up the crime stats in Ciudad Juarez. Bombs are going off. One of the most dangerous cities in the world. Yeah, it's time to shut it down. That's what we have a military for, to protect this country. Donald Trump wants border agents to block entry to migrants on the grounds that they have passed through countries where communicable diseases are present without citing any specific health threat. Don't care. You're an asylum seeker. Let's say you live in, let's just go with Guatemala. You can certainly walk over to Mexico and stay right there. This game where people from Africa fly to Brazil and they take trains and they travel up through South America, through Central America to the United States. And they say
guided the whole time by the UN and NGOs that are globalist NGOs, helping them get here, funded by the mega donor class of the global ownership establishment, to wreck this country, right? All right in front of our faces, and we couldn't do anything about it the entire. No, we actually were on board with it. The corrupt establishment was this administration is not, and this is getting ready to be turned around. And by the way, the UN and all these other participants in crashing our border, they need repercussions. They need repercussions on a major scale. We need to hit them where it hurts, and all participants need to be criminally charged or at least financially charged. The UN needs to pay up, or maybe we just don't need the UN, right? Maybe we need something new that is not able to. It's just more of a conversation than a policy-making body, and that's the whole thing. Because in the end of the day, no global organization should ever be able to subvert the sovereignty of a country. Never. Yet, and the UN has normalized it. They have normalized this process of doing that, and so many people buy into it because they get benefits and power out of it.
I need asylum. No, you don't, because Brazil's beautiful.
Yep.
Why don't you want to stay in Brazil? Honest question. I've been to Brazil. I had expired a 10-year Brazilian visa. That's how they operate.
Wow.
And I got to go to Sao Paulo a couple times and Rio.
Cool.
De Janeiro. Talk about a beautiful country with amazing people, and the food is it's amazing.
Yeah, Brazilians are awesome. I got a lot of Brazilian friends. They're very cool.
I'd love to spend some more time down in Brazil. Rio is incredible.
Blame it on Rio.
People don't want to go there. They want to come here. I mean, I know that our GDP is higher. You see, that's what disturbs me, and that's what offends me. If it was really asylum, and we all know it, they'd stop in one of these beautiful countries. I mean, come on, let's be real.
We know.
26 of Oakland Gardens, New York, around 8 p.m. Tuesday. Earlier in the day, Tuesday, police and detectives launched an investigation to the apartment where this is happening. We get it. And so I want to make sure I'm being clear.
We get it.
I'm not conflating those stories with ICE raids. I'm saying when law enforcement is preparing to do an investigation in a raid.
Oh, and they were lying him up.
And these people are like, oh no, oh geez, the child is crying. Quick, burn the Constitution. I'm like, you realize law enforcement actions do more than just take away legal asylum.
Yeah. Let's continue.
First of all, many of them aren't legal asylum seekers.
They're
lying.
They're
and
lying.
More importantly,
they're gaming
there are
the system.
Evil people that need to be stopped. And this is what law enforcement should be doing. But what do we get from the liberals? They say no. We got a post from Charlie Kirk on X. ICE has already arrested nearly 500 violent criminal illegals and removed them from the streets in 36 hours.
Okay, there's your number.
These are thugs whose whereabouts and crimes were well known by local officials, but Democrats refused to detain. Insanity. Every single arrest means there will be one less Laken Riley, one less Jocelyn Nungry, one less Rachel Morin. Any Democrat sanctuary jurisdictions refusing to comply or worse, actively impeding President Trump's deportation orders must be defunded and likely prosecuted. Mess around and find out. Come on, Charlie. You can throw a little slur in there, a little cuss, F around and find out. I know we keep it family friendly, but I do appreciate he said mess around and find out.
Yeah, you know. So also on that topic, the Trump administration, it says here, arrested 538 illegal alien criminals, including a suspected terrorist, 4 members of Tren de Aragua gang, and several illegals convicted of sex crimes against minors. Yes.
I do find that to be a bit funny. Now, Trump's going to be given gun and drug agents deportation power, and I am here for it. The directive is the latest in a flurry of moves the new administration has taken on immigration. The Trump administration is attempting to amass a larger force of law enforcement officials to help carry out deportations by granting agents.
Anybody looking for a job? Anybody looking for a job?
Across the federal government, the same powers as an immigration officer, according to an internal memo seen by the Wall Street Journal. Bless this man, Donald Trump, doing the Lord's work.
The Lord's work.
I'm here for it.
Amen.
The memo sent by acting Homeland Security Secretary Benjamin Huffman says DHS is granting immigration enforcement authority to several agencies at the DOJ, including the DEA, the ATF, and the U.S. Marshal Service. The directive is the latest in a flurry of moves the Trump administration has taken this week to marshal the vast resources of the federal government to carry out the president's signature campaign promise on immigration. Despite those steps, no large-scale immigration operations have yet materialized, but there have been raids, there have been troop deployments, and I'm ready for it. Take a look at this one from Axios. Immigrants rush to prepare for Trump deportation raids. We got Mexico setting up tents ready to take in those that have been removed from this country.
You know, and like I was saying last night when we were covering the executive orders on the border, one of the best ones that he put out was naming cartels as terrorist organizations, right? That is so key. Like I said, that alone could it could have such a fundamental change in Mexico. It could totally open things up. If we were to go down there and they're like, yeah, come help us out with this. We've had decades to deal with these drug cartels and we just can't do it. We're too corrupt. Come save us. Right. And we go down there and we wipe these guys out. Right. Which probably wouldn't take us very long. They think they're tough, but they haven't met tough yet. And then that would open things up for everybody in Mexico. They wouldn't even want to come here. People would want to go there, especially if they're more from South America, right? Where the predominant language is one that they are already speaking, right? They don't have to the assimilation process is much different. They'd want to go there and make Mexico great, right? They'd want to help bring elevate Mexico up. We can get the corrupt Justin Trudeau government and the false sense of freedom that the Canadian people have been put under that illusion by the corrupt establishment Canada, right? If we could free them up, that country could boom too. Think about a North America all at one time moving upward together. Amazing, with America, of course, leading the way by a large margin, but going after those cartels and putting them in the ground once and for all after everything, all that. They've done some of the worst things on earth. There is no mercy for those people. No mercy for them. And I feel bad that so many people have been forced into that lifestyle. And I feel bad that so many people don't know anything different, because that culture, that criminal cartel culture, has been allowed to flourish for generations, right? But we have to undo it. And it starts with a big old right hook, and then down they go. Right. But think about how that could free up all of Mexico. What's holding Mexico down is their own internal struggles with the drug cartels. It's corruption that holds them down. But man, they have everything it takes to make the world, to elevate themselves to a new level in the world. And Canada does as well. So these orders right here, especially the one, the executive order naming Mexican drug cartels as terrorist organizations and others which we talked about last night, how we can get some of these globalist organizations named as terrorist organizations, like the Open Foundation, named as a terrorist organization for supporting so much destabilization, riots, demoralization, corruption, and subversion within our own government. These are things that we can bring back to the table and start actually addressing again, now that we are taking the steps to do things like this. So if we got some of these other globalist national NGOs put onto that terrorist list, we can go after them, seize their assets, which is what I've been saying for so long. Just go seize Soros's assets, and then he's done. He's already committed enough crimes where we just go, give me the money. All right. Now you go to jail. You can go rot there until your final days, and your son can go down too as a collaborator, even though you roped him into this lifestyle. Hey man, kids can make choices. They can turn away from a corrupt lifestyle if they want to, especially once you've been doing it for many years. But at the same time, he'll just continue on the terrorism that is the Open Society Foundation, right? He'll just carry on that same global terrorism. So if we can get people put on that list, that along with these drug cartels in Mexico, we can do a lot of good around the world, quickly. That thing, that executive order may have flown under the radar a little bit because of all the other ones that are like bigger and kind of like more like wider reaching. But man, that is the one that could have the longest lasting impact as far as future generations are concerned, and the betterment of our neighbors, Mexico and Canada. Absolutely.
And now, my friends, I give you the true political moment.
And
here we go. This is Ocasio-Cortez saying that what Trump is.
Oh man, you guys got to get rid of her, man. New York, please stop it. Stop it. Please stop it. Get based.
Doing is illegal. Listen to this.
Foundational documents of American society and try to end birthright citizenship, which basically, as
she's so stupid. Sandy, what will you say next? Oh, Sandy. Oh, Sandy, what will you say next? You need to go back to bartending, honestly.
Born in the United States, you are a United States citizen.
Wrong.
No, wrong. Now you say it, Tim.
Wrong. That is just the illegal action taken by a government that has been unchecked for a long time. And oh boy, I brought the receipts.
Listen, that remains. That is the law. That is the Constitution.
Nope.
And all these Marxist, indoctrinated, subverted, useful idiots like Sandy over here are going to be spewing this nonsense for days. And I tell you what, Tim's probably going to do a great job right here. But I also want to again call out Robert Gouveia, Esquire, his channel, and I want to call out his work on this topic. I have the video saved. Actually, what I should do is start releasing my 2025 playlist, like just so that I can always be like, you guys can find it on the 2025 playlist if I don't cover it. But his rundown on that is spot on.
That is liars like her and failed politicians and people of failing moral standards that have allowed this tragedy to take place. And again, I brought the receipts.
And he just tried to sign a piece of paper trying to say no. We don't have to listen to him.
Yes, you do.
It's illegal. We don't have to take this seriously. It's a joke.
Okay.
You're a joke.
Actually, as you please, don't take it seriously and ignore it because we're going to carry on.
RB, how's it going?
Our mandate.
Good to see you.
I brought the receipts.
And that's not to say that what they're trying to do isn't serious. It is serious, but we should not consent in advance.
Okay, fine. Well, my friends, I'm going to break it down for you because we had this discussion on Timcast IRL the other night, and I was correct. And the argument on the
I was correct.
14th Amendment. See, this may be a shock to many of you, but I've done a bit of reading on the Civil War. Now,
or you've asked Grok to read it for you, but that's fine. It works really well, doesn't it? It's a good little assistant for us creators.
I'm not going to pretend to be a historian of the Civil War because literally anyone who's ever done any research on it knows more than I do, but I've done a little bit. And in reading about the 14th Amendment, I came across an interesting discussion. The 14th Amendment was descriptive, not prescriptive. And that means it is.
That means if you were already here.
From this point and back, not from this point and forward. The intention of the 14th Amendment's birthright citizenship clause was intended to say the people within our borders that we have jurisdiction over completely.
No, I get it.
They were born here. Of course, they are citizens. It was intending to grant citizenships citizenship to former slaves after the Civil War, when the 13th
Sandy's
Amendment
a party girl bar
abolished
chick.
slavery about 99%, because you can still enslave
party
someone
girl
if they're
bar
in jail.
chick. She's
Well,
like 3 or 4 drinks
what
in.
happened later on was there was a hearing that said, no, actually, anyone who born here, that means anyone from here on and forward. What? That was never the intention. There was a prescription in our founding documents through law and policy on how to deal with the naturalization process. Yet here we are.
They thought
So
about
I
it.
talked to our good friend
Believe
Brock
me, they
and
thought
asked
about
the
it.
question.
Yes.
I said, was the 14th Amendment intended to give all people born here citizenship in the future? And it goes on to say the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, ratified in 1868, was
All right. That's cool and all. I'm glad you did that, Tim. But I'm gonna cut it there for our time. You can watch Tim's explanation if you'd like. But I would recommend, honestly, let me just show you this while I'm talking. I'd honestly recommend you guys go check out Robert Gouvea's version of it. Very professional legal explanation of it. Plus, he's entertaining and he's fun to watch and he's cool. So check this out.
Crime bust. Law enforcement announces dozens of arrests involving Mexican mafia prison inmates who directed gang members on the outside to commit violent crimes.
The 6-month operation also involved drug trafficking, ghost guns, and more. Our Juliet Vara joins us live with more about the defendants. Juliet.
I don't know if this is IS rated or not. I haven't seen this yet, but I saw the headline, so I want to check it out.
Collaboration between local and federal authorities. So we're talking about agencies including the DA, ATF, DEA, the San Diego Police Department. Officials saying that this operation has led to the arrest of 39 violent criminals, many of whom were arraigned right here downtown this afternoon. Charges including murder, arson, and extortion.
Remember, we looked into the Mexican mafia. We did that on Old School Watch Party Sundays. We were looking at how crime works in America and how gangs work in America. Like, it was a whole part of this criminal series that we did. We tried to better understand how prison gangs worked, how these different gangs worked, right, and where they came from. And you get the origin story. You get the people that have gotten out of it, that were actually living in it, and actually lived the lifestyle, who have turned their lives around, or trying to help people get out. We did that series. We talked about the Mexican mafia. It's very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. That one particularly was really good.
This case is one of the greatest of our time.
Authorities declaring Operation Los Impuestos as one of the biggest in San.
Look at all that. Whoa. Look at all that stuff. All these guns. Yeah, they want to take our rights away. They want us to not be armed to defend ourselves against people who have these things right here. Look at that. Look at that shotgun. All that stuff.
Diego history.
The level of lawlessness, ruthlessness that these cartel and gang members displayed are stunning.
Surrounded by dozens of trafficked weapons now off San Diego streets, District Attorney Summer Stephan detailed how this investigation has disrupted the Mexican mafia known as La M. It's the largest prison gang in the United States.
Look, they got all these illegal weapons off the streets without taking away our Second Amendment rights. How about that?
And essentially, they are shot callers that coordinate with Mexican cartels. And they also then give essentially orders to our street gangs,
I have this sped up. Imagine how slow she's talking right now.
Multiple gangs on what they're supposed to do. Who are they supposed to execute because they didn't pay the tax? What business should they blow up?
Stephan says other orders from behind bars have included harassing and imposing mafia-style taxes on local businesses in areas like downtown, City Heights, and Barrio Logan.
They were told that if you call law enforcement, what we're doing to you now will only get worse. We'll vandalize your business. We'll burn your business. We will beat your employees. We will kill you and your employees.
Officials saying the street gangs were also ordered to push drugs and weapons, all their actions terrorizing residents.
I mean, we hear that and we think it's over. I don't know. I'd still, hey, Shinny, how you doing? I'd still be worried about that. I'd stay on top of that because as we learned about the Mexican mafia and other gangs that run through prisons and have a higher like military structure, like top-down military structure, they're vast. They are vast. I mean, it's a big problem. It probably requires a generational fix on it, to actually really weed out the entire gang culture as a whole. Because it's networked into the prison. So even when you arrest these guys, they go into the prisons and they continue the operations instead of different. They have different roles, but they continue the operations in prison. So it's not like just arresting them and putting them in jail does anything. Because right now, all these guys they arrested, right? They're getting warm welcomes inside the prison population. Hey, what's up? Hey, my old friend. You know, they've been in and out their whole lives, and they can still get messages in and out of prisons too, and they can still get all kinds of stuff brought in for them. So the idea that this is you're restricted their freedoms and their ability to go out into the world to commit crimes, but they'll be committing the crimes from behind bars. So this is great news, but it's all, because you get a lot of drugs and guns off the street. But at the same time, the crime aspect of it doesn't necessarily, these people's lives are still at risk. So the cops thinking, well, we got these guys, so you guys are all safe now. Go about your business. Yeah, right. Now they're behind bars ordering hits on the people who turned them in. So you better be on your toes and you better keep protecting these people, because if not, they'll soon find them. They'll find them, honestly. And if someone was a major player in the arrest, you should relocate them and rename them and give them a new life somewhere else, way away from these guys, because they don't stop. And that's just the way it is right now.
We had a case in Southeast San Diego where there were over 20 rounds exchanged on a residential street over a drug and taxing dispute. And when we went and served that search warrant, the neighbors came out and said, "Thank you for coming. We've been dealing with these people that we are scared to death of in our own neighborhood."
About 30 suspected criminals were arraigned Tuesday in downtown San Diego as part of this investigation.
All right, cool. We get it. So that's that. That works. Good to know. Good to know. And maybe some of them will get deported. Maybe some of them will get deported. All right, so we're gonna skip around here. I try to keep things in somewhat of an order, but I think tonight we're just gonna go down the list of whatever I got, and that way we'll do that. We're gonna, Friday nights we'd like to do the kind of like the roundup kind of thing, and believe me, we're still gonna get to the O'Keefe stuff, right? We're still that's gonna be the grand finale, and then, but I like to keep it like within more of a shorter stream on Friday nights, right? So more of a shorter stream, because I know other people stream that people here like to go see. And so I don't want to but I do want to get through the top news and updates of the week that we didn't get a chance to get to on the other shows this week. And I also want to follow up on the O'Keefe exposing the deep state. So if you're watching, we are going to get to that. Just a little update on the scheduling, how we're doing things tonight. Let's go on, get into it. All right, here we go.
Continues. You should know that yesterday Donald Trump signed an executive order demanding that all of the classified documents regarding the assassination of President John F. Kennedy be released. Now, that doesn't mean that they have been released. It means that in 2 weeks, the National Security Agency is supposed to come up with a plan to then start releasing them. So we'll see how this goes. And while this is a fantastic gesture, I do have the sneaking suspicion that the released documents are all going to look like this.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think? You think you think this release is going to be a letdown, or do you think it's going to be full disclosure? What do you think as far as the as that goes? RB, come in. Here's what you got here. The CIA made the cartels. We're just going to have to clean up more CIA meddling. Everything they created has come back to bite us. They did. They created those things. I know they probably enabled them. They probably enabled them to ramp up. I don't know if they were the originators of it, but they certainly had a hand in it. They certainly helped propel them in enablement is enablement, right? And removing the enablement oftentimes removes the problem. So hopefully they that removal of enablement will help out a lot. The reformation of the CIA and intelligence agencies will be underway here shortly. All right. So I'm going to say, dear America, we got them. The CIA. It's not going to be a letdown. You don't think so? Not going to be a letdown? We got them. The CIA. Deep state actors. Generalizing. I've learned over time generalizing the intelligence agencies is blanketing. Like they don't all go to the same office, right? They're not all the same. They don't have the same things. Well, actually, we're going to learn a lot more about that at an accelerated rate. I promise you that. Very shortly, we're going to be able to very much ask every question. We're going to be able to question to the void on this topic, RB. I promise you that. If everything goes right, we'll be able to question to the void on this. Bring your questions. Bring everything you ever wanted to know about that kind of topic to, write them down, get them all ready, because we're going to have a chance to really, really drill down on that very shortly. And if you haven't, you may want to check out Unrig the Game, the book, the audio book series, the show that I do every Monday night. And there's a lot of good books in there. Control Oligarchs by Seamus Bruner, Big Intel by J. Michael Waller. These books help really spell out a lot of stuff that's been going on. But you definitely check it out, man. You're gonna get a chance to ask a lot of questions. And see, I see the extent of the enablement as more significant. CIA needs its black market funding. They learned how to do that after World War II, SCA, opium trades and stuff. Yeah, but there's different aspects. Is what I'm saying. There's different aspects to the CIA. There's one and the other. What they're supposed to do is one thing, right? And what the corrupt aspects of it do is another. But again, we're gonna take that to the next level. I promise you that. Not tonight, but soon, very soon. All right. Well, yeah, you should check it out. Check out the Old School Watch Party Sundays. I got a lot of great selections in there about these very topics. It's a playlist over on Rumble. Rumble is where we do the kickoff show here, so you can get an idea of what documentaries we've been watching over the past year and a half on that show. These are all ones that I watched. A lot of them I watched 10 years ago or more, and I brought back to show a whole new flock of people this old lost kind of documentary footage. Not a lot of people will go out there and try to find it themselves, so I kind of bring it to the table. And we've covered that, the banking system, the intelligence agencies, everything. Like I said, if you're really, really interested in this topic, you're going to want to either listen to the book or go buy the book and read it, like MLS is doing. Big Intel by J. Michael Waller. If you haven't seen the Yuri Bezmenov stuff, you can watch that too. But the Waller stuff takes you to the next level. It takes you to the next level. So intelligence agencies, how they went from Cold War heroes to deep state villains, it's all in that book, man. And it's a phenomenal book. I'm telling you. So if you want to round out that education, if you haven't done it already, or if you haven't seen it, check out what he's doing there. And you're going to be surprised. As someone who studied it a lot myself, the book still surprised me. The book still taught me things, even at this level. So if you fancy yourself a Yuri's the real red pill, man. He's on he's on Mount Rushmore around here, man. He's one of our Mount Rushmore winning reality Mount Rushmore faces. I love Yuri. I show his stuff like at least once a year. I have, but now I think the last one I did, the complete guide to ideological subversion featuring Yuri Bezmenov, that last stream I did covers a lot of it. I think there's only like one thing I wish I had done different in that. And if I do his stuff again for like a new crowd or like for some people who haven't seen it in the future as a rewatch, I would probably do it the other way that I was thinking. So that's the only thing I would say that I didn't like about that stream. It was a little bit of the ordering. Like I think I would have reversed a little bit of the ordering, but that's just because I've done that topic many times. And I believe me, I've been trying to push the Yuri stuff for over a decade, almost 2 decades now. And to see it not getting out in video games and to see more and more people realizing and have seen it and understanding it, that's the real red pill right there. When you get that, you start to see that subversion all around you. Then that encourages you to take the next steps into understanding how it works, the mind control of subversion, how, that's all that you get into that stuff. Then you can start to really, really see the true nature of reality and what we were born into, right? And how we're going to fix it coming out of that. So good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right, let's get back to this.
Here's Judge Andrew Napolitano revealing that he had a conversation with President Trump about these documents years ago and said
everybody wanted him to be on the
in
Supreme
my
Court.
last conversation with President Trump in the White House. He called me a lot. And this is after January 6th. So it's 2 weeks before, or a week before he's leaving office. I said, you made a promise to the public many times and to me privately that you haven't kept. What? I'll take care of it right now. I said, you promised you would release the records of the JFK assassination. He said to me, Judge, if they showed you what they showed me, you wouldn't have released it either. And I said, who's they and what did they show you? And then he said, Judge, someday when we're on the phone, and then he raised his voice, and there aren't 15 people listening to the phone call, back to a normal voice, I'll tell you.
Oh my God.
I mean, this makes it sound even worse. Who are they? Probably somebody in the intelligence community.
If they actually release all of the documents, which again is highly unlikely, it will probably just be a limited hangout. But if they did, they would just confirm what most people already know. But it would be good to actually have the government documents to admit what it was that really happened. And America is becoming great again, thanks to numerous ICE raids that have been happening across the country, clearing out the criminal invaders.
This afternoon, NBC 10 saw multiple unmarked SUVs here.
Get in and
5
go.
people, some wearing vests that said police.
They're lucky they're getting
federal
released,
agents
man.
on the back went inside one
Back
of
in
the
their
apartment
country.
buildings.
Lucky.
2 agents waited outside.
Come here and get
One
away with
person
shit,
taken
and then
into
they get
custody that
free
we
ride
saw.
home.
Whether this is connected to President Trump's effort to root out illegal immigrants, something he has promised to do, is unknown. We also
Well, yeah, RB, that's what I've tried to do on the Old School Watch Party Sundays. Like, honestly, I don't know how far back you go. I don't know your history or any of that stuff, how long you've been doing this, how long you've been knowing about it and whatnot. But if you go look at that playlist here, I try to keep it up to date. It's pretty much up to date. Let me see. Where are we at? Here we go. That, and it's the one that I never asked anybody to put out. So let me grab it. It's this one right here. It's hidden. It's got a different name because I don't call it Old School Watch Party Sunday. But what I do call it is, where we can put it in here. Check this one out. Check this one out. It's just documents and movies. I mean, documentaries and movies. I think that's what I call it. Let me see. What's documentary and movie watch parties. Take a browse through that right here. Take a browse through this one. And tell me what you think about that. You're going to find a lot of old school stuff, a lot of topics you're probably going to be really interested in. So enjoy that. We know we do the kickoff party, the kickoff show. And so you got a little bit of me and Shelly just talking for like, about an hour, 45 minutes or so. And cool. But then we get into the feature presentation. So they're all full length over there. And you'll be able to catch up with that. And then some of them have movies at the end. So if you like 80s, like old 80s comedies, like things like that, you might run into a movie you want to watch. But definitely check out the documentaries. Check out the Century of Self series. That's great. There's just so many awesome ones in there. I can list them off for like the next 30 minutes, right? But it's like there are tons of great ones in there. So, and probably a lot of ones you may remember or may have heard of, and maybe haven't got a chance to see yet. These are all ones that are this back in the day when people would make documentaries, right, for the sake of getting the information out to people and not try to put them behind freaking paywalls to serve themselves, So there was, back from those days when people were doing some pretty damn good research. There's some that need upgrading, but most of the ones I ended up showing, except for a few, I just never had to go back and really do a lot of updating on or even debunking in some cases. I try to avoid a lot of those documentaries that I watch that are like that. But what I've done is I think put together a great collection of really awakening information for people to take them down and walk them down the road, a roadmap of information that will take you from, I just figured out the whole world's screwed up, to, okay, now I can see how it got there, all the different aspects of it, all the things we need to be aware of, and how we're going to get down to fixing it, right? And that, a wealth of knowledge banked in there. And that, along with my Unveiling Reality series, is the roadmap for people that maybe are just starting to figure out, hey, something's not right around here. And what is it? And so you don't fall into the grifts, you don't fall into the BS. A lot of people will take advantage of those who are just waking up from the establishment narrative, what we call the first veil around here. And so I am the roadmap. I do the best I can is to help people navigate the world of the first and second veil to the base reality of truth. The base truth reality is what we're calling it now. All right, let's go.
Also saw federal agents at a building on Lexington Street, also here in East Boston. A witness there told us she saw one person arrested. There's roughly 11 million undocumented people around the country. President Trump has said the priority is finding and deporting those with criminal backgrounds.
Yep.
Absolutely. Like
Say it the whole time.
I'm
Listen
not
to
going
this.
back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in
He ate the
recent
dogs.
years.
He ate the cats.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
There you go. There's your Biden and there's your Biden Obama supporter right there. There he is. That's the kind of people that love him.
You probably couldn't understand that jive talk, but he said, F Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything he did for me, bro.
Yeah, he let you come here and be a tough guy gangster. He let you come here and commit crimes and get away with it. Yeah, he gave you welfare. He did all these great things for you, didn't he? Yeah, I bet you are thanking him. And now you can go back to Haiti and get all your shit stolen and get beat up.
I know this seems like a parody, but this actually happened, and that's what he really said. Meanwhile, CNN viewers are having
You know what Tom Holman responded to that? I don't have the clip, but Tom Holman responded to that and said, enjoy Haiti.
time adjusting to our new reality when they hear fantastic facts like these.
Deport all immigrants here illegally. I will note the ABC News poll asked about undocumented immigrants. So we have slightly different questions, but these were all taken within the last month. And there's real uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deport all immigrants who are here illegally. 55% of the New York Times. Marquette, 64%. CBS News, 57%. ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%.
Wait for it.
So what you're seeing essentially here is a very clear indication that a majority of Americans, in fact, when they're asked this blunt question, which I believe gets at the underlying feelings, do in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally. There's no arguing with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different pollsters.
That's right, and be sure to order your Sorry No Vacancy deport.
I like that shirt. The shirt's pretty cool. He throws a nice little ad in there.
Them all shirts.
It's smart.
From my online
I should
store,
do that.
marketplace.com, or click the
I should do something, right?
link in the description below. Many lunatics are continuing to melt down over Elon Musk giving his heart away gesture during an inauguration celebration that accidentally resembled a.
Remember when we saw that live? I was like, oh shit, that's gonna come back on. We're gonna be talking about that again.
Scary gesture from a scary regime halfway around the world that existed almost 100 years ago, in response to Representative Mike Collins saying that the whack job bishop at that woke church giving the sermon where she started complaining about Donald Trump's policies should be added to the deportation list. Ocasio-Cortez
You can roll his R's,
busted.
right?
What about the guy who did a Nazi salute behind the presidential seal? And there's a new trend on TikTok where the twits are
Right. I mean, you know, whenever the Marxists can figure out a way to get in and subvert, they do. And that's all Sandy does. Sandy's well-trained Marxist. She sees an opportunity to divide, to smear, to do anything like that, to implement her pre-programmed in rules for radicals to the point where she probably didn't need to read a book. She's been trained up that way, right? At this point, it's part of the culture of that side now. That it's so ingrained in the culture to act that way that people that they don't even need to read the book anymore. They don't even need to know what the real rules for radicals are. We did a stream on the rules for radicals, so I talked about that in that stream. But yeah, so here we go. And then the new school useful idiots come out and try to think they're really smart, and then they get memed out of existence by the base crowd. Check it out.
are challenging people to make the same gesture if it's no big deal.
To everyone defending Elon and what he did, I want you to do it. Do it. Post yourself on here doing it. Do it when you guys greet each other in public. Come on, have it be your thing.
She thinks she's so smart. She thinks she's so smart. God.
Own the libs, right?
If it wasn't
Castro.
a schmatzy salute, do it.
My heart.
You know that guy's part of that that alphabet mafia.
Heart goes out to you.
There you go.
My heart, it goes out to you.
Oh,
Based.
no.
Thank you. Thank you.
Base.
My heart, it goes out to you.
Oh,
Based.
no.
Thank you. Thank you.
Others are posting these pictures online in order to keep the liberal tears flowing. There's a snowman doing the salute, and an alien, and a dog. Here's the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, doing the "his heart goes out to you" gesture. I won't show the compilation of all the other Democrat
Sorry,
politicians
Sandy,
doing it.
you don't
If
get
missed
to
it,
own
just
sign
go check
language.
my previous videos. And while the ADL initially defended Elon, now they're very upset with him because
ADL
he
can
has been
get
making
lost.
jokes about people freaking out over it. The ADL slams
ADL
Elon Musk
subversive
after
as hell.
billionaire makes a series of Nazi puns
They can get
defending
lost.
Trump rally salute. And this woke weather girl from a television station in Milwaukee, Wisconsin,
You're
was
fired.
promptly fired after she defamed Elon, calling him a Nazi on social media. So obviously management over there has had enough of these crazies, so she's gone. There still is a lot of work to do, but President Trump has only been the president again for really about 4 days now.
4
This
days,
is
kicking
a
ass.
video that was just shot 2 days ago.
Well, this was
at a
the
VA
subversion
clinic.
going on in our in Veterans Administration here, man. Why would you just put a plaque of? Why would you just put a picture like this on the wall? You know, flags have meanings, man. Flags are a sign of conquest. When you raise a flag on something, it means that you have it's a conquest thing. It means you own. You're owning the land. You're claiming your claim. It's a claim. It's a claim. That's what it is. So you know, people don't think that. Oh no, it's just support. No, when you're raising that flag up, right? It means you're staking a claim. That's what they plant the flag on the moon, plant the flag on Mars. Why are they gonna plant the flag? They're staking a claim, right? So people forget about flags, banners, and drums and things of ancient warfare. What the symbolism of them carry over into modern day. But we're like, oh no, it's just support. No, it's you're if you're got a sticker on your car like this, it means you're part of it and you're owned by it, right? You're in it. That's part of you. That's you. It's your identity. You're in there. Right. So you no matter what they do, now you are owning in that. You own that. You know, if they're putting up a cover for the worst people amongst us that do the worst things to kids. No matter what faction of it is, you own it as a collective for flying the flag. You are they stake the claim in you.
Clinic in New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey. Here we go.
Can you imagine walking into the VA and seeing this? This isn't during Pride Month.
Look at that. This is complete subversion. See, they rub it in your face. They say, we own you. We own you. You are now ours. And this is planting a flag on our veterans. People, the men and women who fought and died for our country and protect our freedoms. This is what they do. This is the disrespect they're getting.
This was shot 2
That'll be
days
coming
ago.
down.
And since one of Donald Trump's executive orders
Oh,
is
here
to
we go.
fire
Deep state plans for Trump's second term. Hide the subversive elements. Hide the deep state actors.
all the diversity, equity, and inclusion heads and shut down all of those departments. Some people are trying to save their jobs by deceptively, secretly just changing their title. Like this woman over at the ATF, the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
Oh, they're going to try to put a mask on. They're going to try to hide amongst us. They're going to try to hide amongst us and then resurface when they're activated to do so. They're going sleeper mode. So we got to be aware they're going sleeper mode. Call them out. And I love the documentation going on here. Yes, Lisa Boykin, we see you. You will be let go. And you can go work at the grocery store or something else that can appreciate your diversity, right? But as it goes, vandalism of subversive symbols should be legalized. It's freedom of speech, isn't it? She's not hiding behind anything. Hey, Snipe, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, so we're on. I'm loving the fact that people were prepared and ready and out there and are being vigilant. This is great stuff. Make sure that we document the bad actors now. And we're going to get into some more about documenting bad actors, but document the bad actors now and make sure that they can't go run and hide under the covers. We take away their means to get in there, and we start making the repairs we need to make in our government, and then hopefully in our businesses as well. The businesses have to follow suit too. And that comes down to we enable that business if it continues to these DEI practices, these cultural Marxist practices, right? Do we take our money away? We stop enabling them. We start consenting to their products and their services. And when we can do that, the pressure will be on for them to change. All right, here we go.
Who, as you can see, was listed as the chief diversity officer, but then just quietly changed her bio to a senior.
Wasn't me.
One other note.
That lady looked like the lady who shot Zelina, or wasn't that? No, it was Zelina. Selena, the Mexican singer, the really popular one, where her assistant like murdered her. That's that lady looks like. She looks like the one, at least the one that played her on in the movies. Oh, Selena, I love you. Bang.
And just quietly changed her bio to a senior executive.
One other note on this issue of them asking for call outs for people within these agencies who may have information on federal employees who may have been disguising certain DEI initiatives. We should note CNN reported just last week that there were federal employees within these agencies working to quietly edit job descriptions and policy descriptions because they feared this very day would come, Wolf.
Run and hide all you want, clowns. We're still going to find you and get rid of you. The Department of Education has just shut down their DEI measures and suspended the staff. This email was sent out to all NASA employees. We are taking steps to close all agency DEIA offices and end all DEIA-related contracts in accordance with President Trump's executive orders titled Ending Radical and Wasteful Government DEI Programs.
Love it.
These programs
Love
divided Americans by race, wasted taxpayer dollars, and resulted in shameful discrimination. We are aware of efforts by some in the government to disguise these programs by using coded or imprecise language. If you are aware of a change in any contract description or personnel position description since November 5th, 2024, to obscure the connection between the contract and DIA or similar ideologies, please report all facts and circumstances to DIAtruth@opm.gov within 10 days. Sounds like a pretty good start to a pretty good week of what will hopefully be a pretty good 4 years. And by the way, this weekend, you can save 20% off of any of my shirts from markdice.com by using the promo code ULTRAMAGA.
All right, Mark, thank you so much for
newly
that, my
redesigned with a bunch
brother.
of new products.
You said some good stuff with that shop, I'll tell you what. And just to kind of, let's see, I saw Shinny Graham here. She said this, and I always love to take the opportunity to put the ACLU in its place. We really need to get rid of this organization. It needs to go, because check this out. In case you didn't know, here's their history.
Hoover leads America's fight against Marxism. In the months after the Palmer raids, there were two notable developments. First, liberal and progressive jurists founded a group called the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, to defend accused foreign anarchists and communists and protect their rights to agitate and subvert.
Washington to pay $1.6 million to settle lawsuits after protests at Trump's 2017 inauguration. The class action suit alleged mass arrests and excessive force. They reached a $1.6 million settlement in two suits. The lawsuits were brought by the American Civil Liberties Union of D.C. and attorney Jeffrey Light on behalf of protesters. The ACLU said in a statement Monday that the lawsuit alleged police chief Newsham and more than 20 officers engaged in or supervised constitutional violations, including mass arrests of demonstrators without probable cause, unlawful conditions,
They're
and
just
confinement for
rioting and
detainees,
doing
and or use of excessive force.
Hoover leads America's fight against Marxism.
There you go. A little excerpt from J. Michael Waller there. Yeah, there's your history of the ACLU. What are they doing operating in America in this
Hoover
day and
leads
age?
America's fight against Marxism. In the months after the Palmer.
Hold on. Sorry. Okay, there we go. How can they still be around? How can they still be around? I don't hear that. Keep doing the same thing. Maybe that's what I did. All right, there we go. Get rid of that. And I had another one too. I figured as long as I had the shorts out, let's go ahead and play another one. This one's really good here. Let me get this one up for you to kind of go along with what we're talking about. And here we go. Let's just remember what critical theory is about and what the goal of that critical theory is. And DEI is part of it. So I think that this is a good place to put this one in as well. If it will ever move. There we go.
Marx's goal was not to improve, but to destroy family, human relationships, economics, patriotism, loyalty, morals, religion, Western civilization, destruction of the entire human existence. In Marx's words, thus the criticism of heaven is transformed into a criticism of earth, the criticism of religion into the criticism of law, and the criticism of theology into the criticism of politics, denigrating Western civilization and culture. That irreconcilable cultural warfare approach would become known as cultural Marxism. Adherents called its philosophical basis, the logical trains of thought that would lead people to accept and pursue cultural Marxist conclusions, critical theory.
Bingo.
As opposed to the later Marx, the cultural Marxist originalists would tear apart societies not by economic class and the hard currency of capital, but by religion, law, race, family, tradition, knowledge, patriotism, and beliefs. Marx's goal was not to improve.
There you go. Just a little refresher there on that. Always good to do. All right, let's get back to it. Pull this down here. Move this over there. What's up, guys? What's going on? There we go. Out there, it's not so much that they hate Trump tearing this down. They hate that it's popular. Yes, they do. Because it eats at them. Well, the useful idiots especially will cringe at that, right? They'll cringe at that. Got that one out. They'll cringe at it because they're under they've been subverted under the illusion that their movement and their popularity of their beliefs are vast, right? That they're the majority, and that was the subversion of like 2020 and the Obama years and so on. That their ideas permeated society on a wider level. And the problem is the silent majority, us, didn't have, I mean, a lot of people didn't know, about Ron Paul. We tried our best to get things out, but there was a lot of people that are stuck in their ways or didn't realize about the idea of a false left-right paradigm, right? And you can only reach so many people so fast. So if people were called to action at that point, they may have gotten the message, right? They weren't, if they were just kind of tucked into the false left-right paradigm, still believing that could make a difference, then, they might have thought, they might have believed what they heard about Ron Paul, which is obviously, if it was coming from the establishment or the neocon, with that back then we called it establishment left and establishment right. So the neocon right and establishment right. From either one of those was false, right? It was meant to slander and make you not want to be part of the Ron Paul revolution that was going on, that was exposing the false left-right paradigm. That was the biggest thing that Ron Paul ever did, that and reintroducing the philosophy of liberty. That's why he was so key in this fight that we've been under. Without Ron Paul and his efforts, the base building people, creating people like myself and others, Gary Franchi, others, to go out there and spread the message of liberty and get people to realize the illusion of the first veil. We might not have made it to this point, who knows? But he definitely led the way of creating a new constitutionally based grassroots movement that led us into MAGA and it's now taken us beyond, and love Ron Paul. He's very hardline about his beliefs, many of which are awesome and dead on, but some of which just weren't built to fight a system that was already corrupted by a bunch of elitist psychopaths. It just wasn't built to fight that on that level, but it was built to create warriors, and that's what it did. So God bless Ron Paul and the Ron Paul revolution and all the good it did for our society in getting us to where we are today. All right, so where we gone here? Let's see, what time is it? Okay. Okay. She freaked out. See, Jacob said something that made me want to go to it. The majority is a pure illusion. It shifts. It moves, right? It moves. Hey, there's Jacob Castro on the YouTube side. Guys, take a picture with Jacob Castro as he's here on the YouTube side. Rare occurrence. Every now and then he'll show up in this YouTube crowd. You get your pictures taken with him. He is my head guy over there on Rumble. Knocking it down. So yeah, we did that. And they hate him. Yeah, they do. They hate it. That's popular. They can't handle it. Let's see. Do I want to do that again? Let me see. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. Let's go with this one right here. Yeah, let's do this. Thank you guys for hanging with me while I sort through the playlist here for the best possible thing to play at this time. Oh, we don't like this guy.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Little Benny. This isn't a
What's up, guys? It's
Benny.
Benny. We've seen a lot of
This is just reporting on this, so we can watch this.
historic things from this desk. Presidential attempted assassinations, presidential candidates dropping out, historic debate performances that change American landscape of politics forever. We've witnessed inaugurations from here and funerals, and it's all been very, very interesting. Some of it has really been disconcerting. Obviously, some of it makes you shocked about how the systems really work and who's actually in power. But there's one video that stands out to us and will forever
It's just sped
give
up.
us a chill. It is this video of Dr. Fauci predicting COVID on the eve of President Trump's first inauguration.
Let me pause this, Benny.
In
Let's go.
January 2017, where Dr. Fauci said with 100% certitude to a room that wasn't paying attention to him, people were just like eating their lunch, that there was going to be a surprise pandemic in the next administration. What a strange thing to say. I've never heard anybody else talk about any other presidential administration like that. But Dr. Fauci was right here telling you that he was about to loose on the world the viruses that he was creating, and he was going to create COVID. Listen.
Hold on.
But also there will be a surprise outbreak.
Surprise outbreak. Dr.
Hard to
Fauci,
deny that. Hard to deny that was just predictive, right? Hard to deny that.
explaining that he was going to create COVID, and then he was going to destroy millions of lives. The greatest mass.
I would honestly, I don't know. I can't go that far, but I would say that it's hard. At the same time, I understand how you can. You know, I understand how you can when someone says that. You know, but then there's the whole thing about Gates, you know, and his vaccine thing, where people thought he was admitting to using the vaccine to kill people when he's really just was sound bitten. And I don't like Gates, so I'm not sticking up for him, but I stick up for the truth. And the truth of the matter is that he was explaining his philosophy that if you vaccinated a bunch of people in Africa, they would stop having so many children. And that's how you would reduce the population. People grab that, take it the wrong way, and run with it. So I was like, don't mess around nuance. Just worried about root cause issues and root cause solutions, and not get caught up on all that. But what I really wanted to talk about was this, if he ever gets to it.
Murderer is Dr. Fauci. Of course, before President Trump's inauguration, that of course atomized the. Did you know
Can we just
the
get to
American
this?
taxpayer was paying tens of millions of dollars for a Secret Service detail for Dr. Fauci? Why would Dr. Fauci need a Secret Service detail? Why would this?
Yeah, why would he?
Pointless bureaucrat need tens of millions of dollars
Why
spent
would
on
he?
him to protect him from us? Dr. Fauci had his taxpayer-funded Secret Service pulled, President Trump confirmed during a press conference on Friday.
You don't need that, Fauci.
I think when you work for the government, at some point, your security detail comes
You
off.
don't
and,
need
you
that.
You can't have them forever. Trump told her.
You know what he can do? He can take his damn high salary he's been getting for decades, right? He can take all of his millions and pay for his own security. I mean, we've been giving him millions of dollars to be shitty. You know, millions of dollars he gets to keep. He's a multi-millionaire because of the taxpayers. And you know what he can do? He can take that money and pay for his own damn security. We ain't paying for it. And the same with the rest of all these clowns. They can go buy their own damn security. They can spend their own money on it. Right? We want to use our money to protect our president and our administration. Right? And anybody else that needs it, it's immediate. We're not going to spend it on a bunch of has-beens that exploited people. Hey, Blue Lantern, what's up? We're not going to spend it on a bunch of criminals who get pardons when they haven't been convicted of anything, and accept them because they know there's stuff out there they can be easily be convicted of. That's why they accepted those pardons, which is a sign of guilt. Arrest a little troll. Now, you know what? Russia wants a piece of them. They're saying that as part of the well, I don't know. What's this say? Part of the settlement, part of the peace agreements between Russia and Ukraine is that the U.S. give them vouching for prosecution. I say it's his patriotic duty to go. Absolutely his patriotic duty to go face the charges. I'm sure he'll be just fine. We'll give you a good lawyer. We'll give you a good lawyer. But I'm sure he'll be just fine. I'm sure, they'll treat him, they'll make sure he has a fair trial and that, I'm sure he'll be just fine. And he can get his own security to go with him.
We took some other people's too, he noted, referring to John Bolton's, Mike Pompeo's.
Oh, John Bolton, boy, that guy is upset about his security clearance being taken away.
Details. They can't protect Trump. They can't protect RFK, but John Bolton has a security detail. They can hire their own security. I can give them some good numbers and some good security people.
All right, that's cool. Thanks, Benny. Yeah, they can get their own security. That's the point I wanted to make with that one. And I saw this other one. Where did I put the other one? Oh, here we go. Let's expand on this a little bit. Let's expand on this a little bit here. Come on. Hold on.
Which
There
had
we
been
go.
first
Sorry.
reported by the New
My
York
bad. Sometimes I just need to look over to the right.
top saga. And on his first day in office, the president signed an executive order to revoke the security clearances of the 51 Intel officials who said that Hunter Biden's laptop contents, which had been first reported by the New York Post, had quote, all the classic earmarks of Russian disinformation.
Now, Trump also separately revoked the security clearance of his former national security advisor, John Bolton. To be clear, Bolton did not sign that letter that we're referring to. But as for the letter, Trump said last June that the 51 officials should be prosecuted for what they did.
Of course, federal officials later confirmed the laptop
Where'd this guy come
contents
from?
were in fact real. They were not of Russian origin. And as we all know, social media companies
Still whack him
actually
with the
censored or
shenanigans.
suppressed the Post's Hunter Biden laptop story leading up to the 2020 election.
Here's Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan's podcast in 2022 explaining what went down.
Biden laptop story.
All right, we know all
we
about
opposed
this.
to. Yeah, so you guys censored.
We know all about
Lindsey
this.
Graham wrote on X, very good decision by President Trump to suspend security clearances of
That's
the
it,
51
Lindsey.
officials who did sign
That's
the letter
it, Lindsey.
suggesting the
Get on your
laptop
hands and knees and start puckering up. That's it, Lindsey.
was Russian disinformation.
You're gonna.
The letter
you're
was a
gonna
political document. Signing
get
it
on the
was
heel.
incredibly
Get on the heel.
irresponsible. They
Hey,
deserve
Evelyn
to have
Cox,
their
what's
security
up? How you
clearances
doing?
suspended.
Welcome to the show.
Intel
Don. How you
historian
been?
and former Intel official Mark Stout wrote on Blue Sky, Trump, as threatened, has revoked whatever security clearances the 51 former intelligence officers
You
who
don't
signed the
deserve
letter
'em. You
about
don't get
Hunter
'em.
Biden may have still had. He also revoked John Bolton's clearances. I am proud to have worked with and know many of the people on this list. This is a travesty.
Oh, if you don't like it, then maybe you don't. Do you? Did you take his away too? Make sure his is gone too. He doesn't need it because he might share it. Now he's just saying it's a travesty. He might share that information, and what you want to do is make sure that anybody who might share the information doesn't have it. You know, John Bolton's mustache must have twirled around in circles when he heard he no longer has his baby, his precious security clearance. You're not important anymore, John. You're just an old neocon put out the pasture. Go on to the glue factory, John.
Are you in tears about John Bolton losing his security clearance? Are you very, very sad about this?
I'm not overly worried about John Bolton's welfare. I'm sure he'll be fine whether he has security clearance or not. Obviously, the Hunter Biden laptop thing was, I mean, we don't need
All right. So I just want to talk about, we don't have to go into these guys debate, but I just want to talk about that 51 agents, right? 51 agents, 51 deep state actors, right? Whether whether it was a one-time thing or that was what they were always up to. Getting the hammer dropped down on their head. No more security clearance for you. You guys are out of business. You're out of business. And you started screwing around you might and find yourself back in court somewhere without any protection. All right, so what we got here? We got to do this. We got to do that. It's about 20 minutes on that. 10. Okay, so we got about 10 more minutes of news, and then we're going to get to the O'Keefe Media Group expose, the deep state actors. And you know what? I wanted to pull this up before I even got started. Deep state actors. Deep state actors. One of their deep state guys. A useful idiot for the deep state. Let's be clear, okay? Explain to everybody. And in the middle of a damn, I don't know, let's say they're at some kind of like pickup, like food joint or whatever, coffee shop maybe, exactly how the deep state tries to muddy up the works so that Trump can't get things done, like so that their enemies can't get things done. That how they put bureaucracy in there, unelected bureaucracy, to gum up the works and to delay and prevent as much progress as they can of undoing their corruption and their dirty globalist agenda, right? So I'm going to make sure I find this video, and I want to promote this video as well. It's way buried now because I've done so many streams. I got to go back to it. And that is the deep state plans for 2024 and Trump's second term. The interview with Tucker Carlson and J. Michael Waller, the interview that inspired us to read the book Big Intel, and to cover that topic, which is a phenomenal thing, phenomenal learning. And but I wanted to play the part in it that that talks about this, because we saw this interview when it came out, like pretty much right when it came out. And that's how I got turned on to the book Big Intel, by the way. But the interview itself let us all know about what was coming, and it's been 100%, pretty much 100% accurate. You know, it's been pretty solid. You know, of course they're going to adjust their plans as they go along. You know, that's what they do. See, I believe it's in March, and I believe it should be about right here. Oh, there's the area one. The second area one. How far back do we go? Wait, maybe it's a little bit forward. You guys got it for me? Let's see. Let me find it. I want to make sure I have this up to bat here. But let's see. What was I doing first? This. Do I have one more thing here? Oh yeah. Let's do this quick one by Black Conservative Patriot.
Joe Biden to give pardons to everybody but him. They wanted to take care of. Yeah, but sure. They wanted to. I don't care.
They're yelling at me.
This is more important because right now the economy is going to do great.
I want to know about
I'm here, so the economy. But you have to understand.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about President Trump's interview with Sean Hannity. And one of the parts of the interview that I found to be fascinating is when President Trump started to talk about Joe Biden and the pardons that he gave out for basically everybody in his family. Okay, everybody that was allegedly involved in the Biden crime family, they got pardons, plus Democrats who also, in my opinion, probably committed crimes as well, too. The J6 committee and others. Everybody got pardons from Joe Biden, right? However, Joe Biden did not pardon himself. Maybe Joe Biden thought that maybe if he does that, he may be going too far, okay? It might be too obvious that he is guilty of a crime, which is what Democrats said, that pardons, pre-pardons, are an admission of guilt, okay? Which, again, you know, hey, Joe Biden seems to have pointed out a lot of people is guilty. But he didn't do it for himself. And this is something that led to Sean Hannity freaking out, as you guys saw at the beginning of this video, when Trump was kind of bringing that up, okay? And I want to go ahead and play the clip here from Fox News they put out of this conversation that President Trump was having with Sean Hannity about Joe Biden and these pardons. Take a look.
Joe Biden ran and said he would never do preemptive pardons. It was an issue that came up when you were leaving your first time.
He thought he heard that I was going to do it. I didn't want to do it. I was given the option. They said, sir, would you like to pardon everybody, including yourself? I said, I'm not going to pardon anybody. We didn't do anything wrong. And we had people that suffered. They're incredible patriots. We had people that suffered. You had Bannon put in jail. You had Peter Navarro put in jail. You had people that suffered. And far worse than that, they've lost their fortunes. They've lost their whatever, their nest egg.
Underdiet, what's
lawyers.
up?
And those people,
I hear that.
And people said, and
An idiot.
they wouldn't have even taken, most of those people, they wouldn't have even taken a pardon. This guy went around giving everybody pardons. And the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him. The money went to him.
Should Congress investigate that?
Well, I don't know. It's,
Well, you ordered the DOJ.
I've always been, look, he didn't give himself a pardon. And he didn't give some other people a pardon that needed it. And I heard Schiff went to him and just begged him for a pardon because Schiff is a crook. Yeah. Schiff is a crooked guy. He's a crooked politician.
Yeah, so in my opinion, I think President Trump brings up an interesting point about how Joe Biden pardoned all these people except himself, okay? Because all signs point back to Joe Biden, okay, as the big guy, right? 10% for the big guy. He's the guy that ultimately was benefiting, okay, because his name is the most important name, the most prevalent name in the Biden crime family. They were making money off of his name. His son allegedly was acting as a foreign agent on behalf of Joe Biden, okay, in order to influence peddle, okay, to make money from the influence that Joe Biden had in Washington, D.C. And as James Comer has outlined, a lot of those people that Joe Biden pardoned, they received payments from this operation.
Look, we did a report. We were very transparent with the report. I said, and was attacked by the media for saying it, that 10 different Biden family members received incremental payments that had been laundered through shell companies into their personal accounts. Now, 6 of them have just gotten pardoned. The 5 that President Biden pardoned going out the door, plus his son. In fact, the 3 spouses that were pardoned, the only place in the world their names were mentioned was in our report and in my book, All the President's Money. We detail who got the money, and in the footnotes and endnotes, it shows the pattern of how they got it. So
all the Biden pardons.
Even President Biden's own Department of Justice, when they were arguing against the January 6th release, releasing the January 6th prisoners, they said that a pardon would be an admission of guilt. And I think when you're talking about Joe Biden's family, it's obviously an admission of guilt that he pardoned 6 of them preemptively. I mean, the sister, the in-laws and 1 brother had never been charged with anything. We only charged Hunter and Jim Biden with perjury and lying to Congress. Obviously, there are other crimes, and I write about it in the book, violation of Foreign Agents Registration Act, money laundering, tax evasion, that we believe all the family could be charged for. And I believe that someone read my book that was advising Joe Biden, and that's why they issued those pardons preemptively out the door, and they never had a press conference to talk about it. And
it's true. We didn't hear from former President Biden on this. Now, he has said that he did these pardons because he was concerned his family members would be subjected to legal.
What they subjected Trump's family members to. He thought he projected his own actions onto Trump, who is not like him. And that's what tyrants do. That's what evil does. It inverts reality, and it projects themselves. It inverts their own evilness onto others. Oh, well, everybody's like this then, right? Everybody's like me because I'm the best, right? But no, we got more class than you, Joe, and you corrupt, elitist-minded, elitism, poison mind people. We got more class than you. We don't want the world to be like you. We don't want it to become what we fight.
And political persecution.
Yeah. So again, leaving it CNN to run defense for Joe Biden, even going as far as to say that, hey, President Trump is sending a threat to Joe Biden.
President Trump in a new interview floating an ominous idea, the possibility of investigating former President Joe Biden.
Well, yeah, let's not investigate criminals. Let's not investigate people who have corrupted and subverted in our country and cost it billions of dollars and who has stolen from us. Let's not investigate those people, right? As you're sitting there at CNN and your high-paying job as a propagandist, let's not investigate those people. Let's not use our justice system to actually go after criminals. Let's create false witch hunts to go after the establishment's enemies instead. And we'll say that that's great. No, you know what? I'm fine with him going after Biden and anybody else he wants to. And they can cry me a river as long as the Nile. And, help yourself to that, because Your hypocrisy doesn't dictate reality.
This guy went around giving everybody pardons. And you know, the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him. I mean, the money went to him.
Should Congress investigate that?
Well, I don't know. It's, you know,
Well, you ordered the DOJ.
I've always been, look, he didn't give himself a pardon.
Is he threatening to investigate Biden? Did you?
I love it. I love it. Is he steering the narrative by throwing that out there?
Did you interpret it that way?
I didn't interpret it that way at all. I interpreted him saying, having gone through the experience of what I just went through the last 4 years, what a foolish decision was for Biden not to pardon himself given the current environment. And I think that's true. I mean, I think going forward, our partisanship is so toxic. What it is I think when a new administration leaves, they almost have to look and say, okay, how do we protect the people who've made some of these difficult decisions from these partisanship judiciary, this partisanship that takes place in the Justice Department? I think pardons becomes that answer. I think that's what he's saying. I don't view it as a threat to investigate, because you just look at the first term. He didn't do it the first term. Why would he do it the second term?
Can you imagine?
Right. But you know what? If he did, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, because how do we get the deep state? How do we get this corrupt establishment to stop? How do we recoup? How do we get remedy from the corrupt establishment that's done this to us our entire lives? It ain't just these latest puppets. It's a long-term effect, and these people are just continually benefited from the cycle of control, which is then, of course, powered by the cycle of abuse they put upon us, right? Giving us this false narrative, false reality that they've concocted, right? And they've abused so many people with this. We're the lucky ones that have gotten out of it and gotten away from it, and now are here to try to pull other people out of it. But, you know, yeah, that's it. So anyways, let's move in to one thing I want to talk about before we get into this next video, or the O'Keefe report, the Deep State Exposed. That's where we're going next. But I did want to pull up this. I put the link out in the chat. I did want to bring this up, and hopefully I got it to the right spot. I don't know. Wow, look how young I look back then. All right. Let's see where if I got to the right spot. But I want to get to the point where J. Michael Waller explains how they planned if Trump got in, what they would do, right? This will let you know that way back when this guy was calling it out, and we were on top of it with this interview right here, and we've had this information, so we've been able to keep our eyes open and keep our eye on the ball throughout the election and throughout this period of time right now. And I want you guys to make sure that you have the same information, so we're all on the same page.
Reconsidering and getting rid of civilian control of the military back in 2016.
So if this is maybe a side road, but I think it's important. If the military is not controlled by elected officials, as it would be in a democracy, who would make decisions about military force?
They're not clear about that.
Oh, they're not clear about that.
This is banana republic stuff.
Well, of course, by definition.
Yeah, in the name of protecting our Constitution.
Yeah, military junta to save democracy. So Rosa Brooks is called.
They may fall for that too.
We have to find a way to remove him from power.
So would you say, just so we can define terms at the outset,
Military should intervene to remove Donald Trump.
To unpack
There
the
you go.
Transition Integrity Project. Thank you so much.
Sorry here.
For doing
Great to
that.
be
We
with
got
you.
time.
So what is, I characterized it briefly, but if you could just give us an overview, the Transition Integrity Project, what was and is it, and why does it matter?
The Transition Integrity Project is the group, the think tank group that came up with these little plans. And probably the guy we're going to see next is probably, connected to or has been instructed by or somehow attached to that. As you can hear, you're going to hear an echo of what is being told, what is being warned about here in this video and this interview, and what you're about to hear that just came out from a big old blabbermouth who thought it was going to get him laid.
It's the opposite of what it says it is.
Of course. Yeah, of course. It's not here to bring integrity to political transitions.
Maybe to their own, fundamentally transforming the country, but no.
Yes.
So whenever you hear these words, they're the opposite of what they mean.
Yes.
With these guys,
Evil
it was
always
to
in
determine
bursts.
in 2020 that the transition from a Trump administration would be nice and orderly.
Right.
And if it wasn't orderly, the military should intervene to remove Donald Trump.
Okay. So it was calling for a military coup.
Right. And the head of the project, the co-founder of the project, Rosa Brooks, had actually called for reconsidering and getting rid of civilian control of the military back in 2016.
So if the this is maybe a side road, but I think it's important. If the military is not controlled by elected officials, as it would be in a democracy, who would make decisions about military force?
They're not clear about that.
Oh, they're not clear about that.
This is banana republic stuff.
Well, of course, by definition.
Yeah, in the name of protecting our constitution.
Yeah, military junta to save democracy. So Rosa Brooks has called for that.
Yeah.
So
even when Trump was elected or inaugurated 2 weeks later, she wrote that we have to find a way to remove him from power.
So would you say, just so we can define terms at the outset, that anyone who calls for a military coup against an elected official is by definition an enemy of democracy?
A public enemy.
Yeah, right. So that, of course, didn't happen because, in my view, I think it's been demonstrated factually, they rigged the election and Joe Biden became the president. So did the election, the Transition Integrity Project continue?
Well, they did the first part in semi-secrecy.
Yes.
This time, they're being more open about it. They're inviting reporters to their war games.
So same group.
It seems to be they're not fully forthright about who the members are.
Right.
And they weren't at all in 2020. But now you've got retired generals.
So what would be the point of this?
What's up, Thomas? Thomas, you're gonna want to stick around and listen to this one. I know.
Again, just a definition of terms. If you have people who are calling for the removal by force of an elected official, that is insurrection, right?
I don't know.
Yes, it's legal insurrection because they're doing this now through lawfare.
Right.
They're doing it through Georgetown University Law Center. So it's the premier law school in Washington, D.C.
Right.
It's a feeder school to the Justice Department.
Yes.
It's a feeder school to Supreme Court clerks.
Right.
It's to the whole intelligence community. And this stuff is being planned there.
So a country that cared about its own preservation, cared to see its own systems continue for the benefit of its grandchildren, would immediately shut down Georgetown University Law Center, obviously, because it's an insurrectionist.
Imagine if Hillsdale was doing this.
Right. But just for those of us who aren't following it on a day-to-day basis as you are, what are the mechanics of it? So there is a group of people who meet at Georgetown University Law School to think through how to seize power from Trump if he were elected in 2024. Is that what you're saying?
That's what we know now from when they themselves talked about it to NBC.
Yes.
And then they invited a reporter from the Atlantic to actually attend the event. And he was so disturbed by it. He said, this is a real problematic issue for people who believe in the Constitution. So even the Atlantic is thinking this is dangerous.
Yeah. Well,
we're in this mode right now. We're at the point in history where they're talking about
against the Constitution over a period of time. So,
so you have these red diaper babies like Rosa Brooks, who's comes from
red
from a
diaper
household that was
baby,
really on the Soviet side during the Cold War.
Yes, for sure.
Who was then a senior
like
Pentagon
Obama.
official, selecting who the Obama generals would be, writing about how we have to end civilian control or reconsider or do away with civilian control of the military, wargaming out military coups against the sitting president, first after a disputed election, and now being the host of an entire project to unseat a president who they agree would have been legally and clearly elected by a majority of the public and electoral votes. This is done now in the name of protecting the Constitution. So you have the Transition Integrity Project of 2020, and whatever its name is right now, being run under Rosa Brooks at Georgetown University.
who I think I'll just say, this is my opinion. I think Rosa Brooks is a violence fetishist, loves violence, obviously, fantasizes about violence. So this should be, obviously it's a threat. Anybody with power who fetishizes violence domestically is scary, but there's sort of no one to call about this, right?
No, because what they're doing is they're manipulating the legal system. So she, somebody under her, Mary McCord, is sort of the zealot of all of this. She's been characterized as this in the American Spectator. She's there she's everywhere you look. So she is a counsel on the Trump Impeachment Committee 1, Impeachment Committee 2, the January 6th committee, all of these other things. She is involved in all of these and more. And she's running a program to plan over 100 pieces of litigation. They don't even know who the defendants will be because they're not even in office.
Right.
To sue to prevent the government from functioning if the election doesn't go the way they want it to. And her husband.
Think about that. What did he just say? This is from back in March or so. The interview was probably done like February. So they were already plotting and planning how they're going to be obstructionists through lawfare and how they're going to try to undo things and stop things through litigation.
His last name is Snook. He was one of these career anonymous bureaucrats working inside the Supreme Court. He's outside now, but his job is she puts together the litigation with her team. He makes sure it's not shopped to other jurisdictions where they won't win. So they want to keep it in the Washington, D.C. circuit where they're guaranteed to win.
Right. So I would assume.
You guys catch that, hon? Did you guys catch that? Yes. I switched my headset. Okay, good. Let me call it. I left that. Sorry if my mic was open there. Yeah. Did you guys catch that? Yes, we did.
Other jurisdictions where they won't win. So
You hear
Tell
that? That's the
myself to shut
lawfare
up.
part of it.
Yeah. I'm repeating the same thing I said back then, aren't I? Let's go. Come on, dude.
Don't forget your information. We have to be aware of right now.
So I would assume
Tell myself to
that
shut up.
the intel agencies are involved in this.
We know retired are, and of course, you're not always retired when you retire. And then you have former officials who still have security clearances. So even if they're retired,
ooh, maybe getting rid of the security clearances were a good idea.
They still have access to classified information and a window inside the machine.
That needs to stop. Like, why we have to stop?
All right,
stop that. Just giving out the retired.
We did it. We did it, guy. We did
I don't
it.
know why we're
It's me from the future to tell you.
In the Trump administration, you know, like refusing to act in America's interest or
I see
their own
that.
interest. But one of them was, why would you let Brennan, someone like Brennan, who's a liar and a force for violence and anti-Americanism, why would you
Brennan
allow
lost
that guy
Brennan lost the security clearance.
continue to hold a security clearance? Why do any of these people still have their clearances? Why can't anyone do? Why can't
It
anyone do
makes
anything
you
about
feel
Exactly.
like
Well, they can. A president
Trump
can
may
revoke
have been
somebody's
listening.
clearance or somebody
Well,
acting under
y'all.
the president's authority. It's just it's part of the big intel industry in Washington where you leave government service. So you built your whole career at taxpayer expense.
Right.
You have your security clearance. You go out then into the intelligence industrial complex to make a fortune as a contractor. And then you land university gigs and media gigs.
And but you retain your clearance as you do this.
Yeah.
So that's a massive advantage, correct?
Thomas, I guarantee you don't know this.
Okay,
It's huge because now you're already cleared. You're already in the
Honest-
system. You're already accepted.
Hopefully he
You're
watched
already
it.
one of them.
Right.
And so you're part of a fraternity.
So even though you're not working for the government and therefore not bound by any of the civil service rules, you can do whatever you want. You're
I'm
just a
sorry,
contractor.
Shelley. Just hang in there.
There are very few limits on your behavior, but you still benefit from the knowledge of what the
Past
government is
the winning
doing.
and
You know a lot more about what the
president
government's
winning
doing than the average
together.
taxpayer or voter, correct?
Right. And that's the reason some
It's still
should
winning
keep
no
their
matter what.
clearances because we need that kind of institutional knowledge once people leave.
Right.
But we don't need it on this massive industrial scale like they have in Washington, D.C.
So again, why wouldn't, if you were the incoming Republican president, you just cancel the security clearances of people who are political actors? I mean, that's not
Good
smart, is it?
idea.
No, because you're abusing the it's a privilege to have a clearance.
Right.
It's an economic advantage.
I don't have a clearance.
No, I don't have a clearance.
Yeah.
So it's a privilege to have it, and you're doing it at the expense of the taxpayer. So you're still in effect a public servant, even if you're in the private sector. But this has just become one big club, one huge business, one big grift in many ways, but one
There it
big
is.
political war now, where you have a merger between hardcore political activists, violence fetishists, public enemy types, and the people who are supposed to be inside our system to serve our country and protect our Constitution.
So how do you think this plays out? Let's say Trump gets
Here we
elected.
go.
What happens?
They'll have 100 pieces of litigation ready to go out the door.
All right, so here you go. Here's going to be the layout of his analysis of this group and their plan.
Okay, we got it.
And again, this guy used to work in the intelligence.
I know. What are you doing? Oh, did I screw it up by trying to where were we at?
String him to hamstring all his appointees
Oh, yeah, I was pretty much right.
at the expense of the taxpayer. So you're still in effect a public servant, even if you're
Why is it doing that? Oh, I'm hitting 0 instead of
in the plan. And again, this guy used to that's trying to fight against still.
I keep putting it back to the right spot.
We explained to you.
I'm pretty good at
every-
this.
the right.
to
Come on,
hamstring
stop
ready to go.
talking to Thomas. Let's go.
Say Trump gets elected. What happens?
They'll have 100 pieces of litigation ready to go out the door during the presidential.
All right, here we go.
To
I'm
hamstring
not
him,
touching
to
anything.
hamstring all his appointees.
I think.
They have their allies inside the government to slow walk security clearances to make sure that his
Hear that? Hamstring with lawfare, slow walk security clearances. Trump took care of that with an executive order. He took care of the security clearances with the executive order.
appointees who don't have clearances cannot get clearances.
Hi, Evelyn. Hi,
He'll be a
Evelyn.
one-term president, so the bureaucracy knows just ride it out, just drag things as slowly as you can, and make things as hard as you can, and then shop for the right judicial venues to make sure that you get a court circuit that will rule favorably in your case. So just think when you're a Washington insider at Georgetown Law School, and your husband was on the Supreme Court staff, you're networked across the Justice Department. You're networked among the judges. You know everyone. They're your friends.
Right.
They're your social circles. Of course, they're going to help you.
It sounds like the swamp wasn't trained.
Not at all.
Not at all. Has it gotten stronger?
Yep.
Yeah, because President Trump came in saying he would drain it. He didn't have any idea what he was up against. He didn't have a team.
Yes.
He didn't have a strategy.
Nope.
He didn't have blueprints. He just went ahead and thought he could do it. And then look what happened. So the swamp is stronger than ever.
What is the opposing side, the Republican side, the campaign, the super PAC, the RNC, the institutions of resistance to the Biden administration? What are they doing to prepare for this onslaught of lawsuits if and when Trump wins?
I have no idea.
What do you mean you have no idea?
I am not aware of anything that's being done at present.
At all?
At all. On the outside, yeah. So Heritage Foundation has action plans. America First Policy Institute has action plans. Some other groups have action plans, or they're putting them together now, but there's nothing for the campaign or the party.
Yeah, see, I mean, but there you go. I'm gonna leave it right there, because here we are in the present, and we know that they heeded the words, and that they went out there and they did what they could up front to make sure that a lot of this didn't happen. So let's now go to the bureau, somebody who was going to, I guess, I don't know if this guy even got a chance to do it or what, but they planned on or explained to how bureaucrats who I guess lost themselves in the system, maybe camouflage themselves in, planned to screw with Trump and keep our RFK, cabinet members, all that stuff, how they plan to obstruct this administration. And we got the one of the best undercover journalist organizations out there. This is the O'Keefe Media Group with James O'Keefe. James is a good dude. And let's bring him on in. Here we go. The deep state exposed.
But like to some degree it's real because they have ways that they can slow things down or block you without you realizing it.
Meet Byron Cohen, an advisor at the White House.
RFK Jr. is a very bad pick for HHS. There's a good chance that the bureaucracy just crushes him.
Is there anything
Good
that
chance,
you're gonna
smart
do?
guy.
I would consider like slowing things down.
Look,
I can't
look at
really
this.
think of
James
anyone
O'Keefe's
who I
right
would
behind him.
less rather have be
I love
president.
these. I love these. Look. He's just hanging. He's chilling. Where are they at? Where do we? Is this a Starbucks? I don't go to Starbucks. Is this what they look like?
Can you give me an
Yeah, there's coffee on the wall. I guess that's where they are. Want to meet me at Starbucks? Sure. I'll tell you how cool I am. Maybe I'll get laid. You won't.
example of like how you think they'll do it when RFK gets in?
One thing you might be able to do to like sort of make him think like something is happening when it's not.
The White House advisor explains how the administrative state creates deceptive commissions to hinder executive decisions.
And in his mind, he's like, yeah, man. Yeah, dudes, I just like smooth talker with my government job. And later on, man, yeah, I was bang away. And yeah, sorry, pal. You thought this was going to work, didn't you? Look at that. You thought that was going to work. I'm a spy. I'm really kind of a spy. Like the last guy that they busted. Yeah, I'm the guy that all the generals come to figure out what the hell to do. That's what I do.
One of the ways you can slow things down in a bureaucracy is you can commit to studying something. Put together like a commission. Mr. Secretary, we're going to put together a commission to study the safety of.
You notice how he is taking on Trump, like how Trump explains things, goes, Mr. President, when they say, he's doing the same thing. Mr. Secretary, we're going to do this. See, he like gets into role play or something.
Fluoride water. Mr. Secretary, we're going to put together a commission to study vaccine safety. And we'll let you know when the report comes out. And he'll be like, yes,
Oh,
great.
you're so brave.
And then years will
Tell
pass
me more.
and nothing has happened. A sophisticated bureaucrat can do a lot to run around an unsophisticated political agency.
Byron says that when it comes to certain policy positions, subverting the will of the people is justified.
Would it be subverting the will of the people to crush RFK or block him or whatever?
For the most part, the American people don't actually agree with RFK's.
If you're an attractive woman and don't mind going on dating apps, you can work for OMG too. You really can. I mean, you can get a gig. If you can get some of these government stooges to go out on a date and talk about their job.
Views on things like vaccines. So, I mean, in a literal sense, if you were like blocking something he was trying to do to undermine vaccines, you are probably acting in a way that is consistent with what the majority wants.
Boxed in narrative, man. Boxed in narrative.
Meet Byron Cohen, who serves as an advisor
Hi, I'm
for
Byron.
Agency Research and Development Oversight in the White House office.
He's a executive branch track. And now you're going to find out how he gets into this role because he's not elected.
Of Pandemic Preparedness and Response Policy, or OPPR. Byron's LinkedIn confirms his credentials, both at the White House currently and at Harvard University. where he
Formerly.
completed the requirements for his PhD in population health sciences, and where he also taught courses in epidemiological methods.
He taught courses, this guy?
The eve of this video being released,
Hell yeah.
Byron's LinkedIn
Hell yes,
page
mate.
was taken down.
I don't know.
Cohen is not a political appointee.
They work for the
In
establishment.
other words, he was not appointed by any particular president. He is what's considered a detailee.
A detailee.
Holds a fellowship at the White House through something called the Horizon Institute for Public Service.
The Horizon Institute for Public Service. Do you need some more deep state actors? It's called Horizon. We'll put some in there for you.
That placed him in the White House. According to multiple government websites, a detailee is an employee of a United States executive branch government agency temporarily assigned to another position, generally in another U.S. government agency or international organization. The employee's original agency will usually continue to pay the person's salary. White House officials tell us that these fellows have real political power, and Byron tells us that he intends.
Let that sink in for a second. This guy, Byron, has real political power. He has real political power because a Horizon group, this Horizon temporary agency, puts idiots like this inside our government. And they have bright ideas like Byron has of how to be a good bureaucrat and stop our free republic from functioning correctly.
To exercise it.
What's it like working at the White House? It's pretty cool.
I like it. I mean, I have a good team. I can't really think of anyone who I would less rather have be president than Donald Trump. But that's what the American people wanted, I guess.
Yeah, but don't worry. You won't have to work for him. You won't have to work for him. Don't worry. You've taken care of that yourself, haven't you?
Gonna stay
I'm gonna stay for the first few months to help and help
No,
ensure there's a
you're not.
successful transition. Like most of our team is leaving. I'm also a detailee, but my detail doesn't end until July.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be surprised. You're going to be surprised how fast your detail ends. I think you're going to be very surprised about that.
So I'm not sure if I'll actually stay that long. It kind of depends, like how it's going, basically. Like if
It's going to go
the
very
admin,
bad
like,
fast.
listens to us and like values our
Nacho
expertise, I'll probably
Kitty.
stay a little longer.
What's up,
If
Nacho
they
Kitty? How you doing?
try to make our lives difficult or kind of just marginalize us, then there's not as much
Yeah,
value.
maybe
in
he's
staying
got
there.
political power.
Maybe something else. Some of them are political appointees, and those people would be expected to leave at the end of an administration.
So political appointee means that like the president or somebody chose
Exactly. They're nominated by the president.
Okay.
So that's like the senior leaders, basically, like the director of the office and his deputies. They're political appointees.
Okay.
The other people are mostly what are called detailees, which means like they're loaned to the White House from other parts of the federal government.
So
Yeah, look more like a sign there by Horizon, deep state temp agency.
I was looking at your Bumble profile, and you said that you were a
Deep
nerd
state useful,
about
useful
all
idiot supplying agency, I should say. Like this guy is by no means calling shots. He's just been groomed to be he's just been groomed to do their bidding. That's all. He's a groomie. He's a groomie. That's what he is.
policy, and I saw the picture of you shaking the president's hand.
So my PhD was in public health, but then like within that, I studied both like healthcare systems and also like infectious disease epidemiology. So I jumped around a bit. Most of my coursework was actually like on healthcare systems.
Look at James O'Keefe. He's like right behind there, just chatting with somebody. Oh yeah, it's me. I'm here on assignment. I'm undercover. You know.
Research was more on like mathematical modeling.
She's like, I really love your videos.
Just diseases. So I work in the White House Office of Pandemic Preparedness and Response Policy. Most of what I focus on is trying to understand how the federal government is investing in medical countermeasures for potential pandemic pathogens.
What? That's what he tries to figure out.
Experiencing 4 years of a volatile economy,
Hold on,
America is
Nad.
facing record inflation and a massive threat to the U.S. dollar. Experts are warning the stock market could crash and we could be facing a recession. Told us about his disapproval of RFK Jr. Byron admitted that the deep state is real and that RFK will be, quote, crushed by the deep state bureaucracy.
So
Huh?
I think like
Busted.
RFK Jr. is a very bad pick for
He's
HHS.
very bad for
Can you
us.
guys
I don't want to be
maybe, like,
healthy.
micromanage RFK a little bit?
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping someone just puts him in a closet. I mean, I think
Like
I
the
honestly
closet you're
think
in?
that is probably
That closet?
There's a good
You want
chance
him in
that
the closet with
bureaucracy
you?
just crushes him.
Weird.
Because like
And
to
that would
get
be
the,
you guys, right?
not us so much as HHS, and so it's not just a matter of like ordering people to do things you want to do, because they have ways that they can slow things down or block you without you realizing it. They're like, people joke about the deep state, but like to some degree it's real. What I will say is like the bureaucracy will do what is in the bureaucracy's interests. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. You guys are idiots and you're useful idiots and you're corrupt. So you'll do what you need to do, what corrupt activities you need to do to keep the corruption going. I get it. Okay.
Elaborate a little bit.
We're on the same page here.
An agency is not going to want to give up money or control
Power.
without a fight.
Yeah.
Right.
I would-
That's natural.
Yeah. They're there for money and power. Yeah. That's what corrupt people do.
And so, and there's sort of always ways they can fight back. Maybe they lose eventually, but like they can slow things down. They can
Maybe he's a
make
pan.
it annoying.
Maybe he's pan.
Exactly. And so I don't see him as a guy with like the knowledge and the patience and the humility that would be needed to get the bureaucracy to actually do what he wants them to do. Does that make sense? Like
So
it's actually
basically
really hard.
already don't like him. He's not making it easier to like him, right?
Yeah, like if you come in threatening to fire all of the scientists at NIH that work on infectious disease research, they're by default not going to trust you, right? Why would they? And so, yeah, I suspect he's going to have a harder time getting what he wants done than he thinks.
The White House official describes how the deep state bureaucracy exercises its power and actually accomplishes the objective of slowing down executive decisions. Byron even goes on to state what he will do if given an order that he doesn't agree with, saying he will block it and slow things down.
When you said that the deep state was kind of real,
Yeah.
what did you mean by that?
I just mean like the bureaucracy has its own power and
Ah,
to
really?
some extent, like
Really?
Desires. How does that
Oh,
work?
wow.
Here's-
And you're
here's
part
an
of that.
example.
And they hook
So,
you up
like,
for that, huh?
in my job, one of the things I've done is
Oh, tell us
like,
what you've
write
done.
this report assessing like how the federal government spends its money on medical countermeasures for potential pandemic pathogens.
And what
And
cut do you
trying to
get?
understand like, are we spending it on the right stuff? And then
We need
came up
people
with
like
some
him for this?
recommendations for how we could improve management of this portfolio. HHS hated this because essentially it amounts to the White House telling them what to do, telling them how to spend their money.
Oh.
And they have ways, like if they don't want to do something, they have ways to kind of fight it. They can slow walk something. They can pretend to be working really hard on something when they're not.
Pretending.
Sometimes they
slow
can just say
walking.
no if it's not like coming directly from the president.
Byron Cohen, an advisor at the White House, revealed what the deep state will do to stop incoming Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Can you give me an example of like how you think they'll do it when RFK, like if he gets in and does something crazy?
One thing you might be able to do to like sort of make him think like something is happening when it's not is to sort of put together like a commission to study something. Like, so maybe you say like, all right, we're going to put together, Mr. Secretary, we're going to put together a commission to study
I
the
do
safety of
reshare
fluoride in
things a
water.
lot.
Mr. Secretary, we're going to put together a commission to study vaccine safety. And we'll let you know when the
It's all right. We're gonna get to
report
confrontation
comes out.
here in a
And
minute.
they'll be
Don't worry
yes,
about
great.
that.
And then years
Don't
will
worry
pass
about
and
that.
nothing has happened.
The confrontation is coming. James O'Keefe will unveil himself.
Bureaucrat
And
can
he
do a
will
lot to run
make it
around an
entertaining.
unsophisticated political appointee if they want to.
Like it
In
wouldn't
recent
really
months, many of our fellow Americans experienced unprecedented natural disasters
Well
and
timed,
damaged
Dad.
infrastructure, making access to healthcare essentials
It's not a
impossible
bad deal though.
at the very
I'm not gonna play
moment
the whole thing.
it was needed. When disaster strikes, Barron argues that subverting the will of the American people is justified if the policy position taken by the cabinet member is wrong.
Would it be subverting the will of the people to
All right, I think we get this part.
kind of like
I think we've seen this
pressure
enough times to
him or block
understand
him
it.
or whatever? Would that be subverting the will of the American people?
You could argue that the will
No,
of the
let me-
American people was
Let's move on to the
to-
next one. Let's get to the confrontation here. I want some action. I want some action.
Byron?
There
Hi.
we go. Oh, this is the moment. This is the precious moment. The precious, precious moment when James O'Keefe introduces himself and makes them realize they don't fucked up. Let's go.
Byron? Hi.
Hi.
I'm James O'Keefe, investigative reporter and muckraker.
You see how she turned around and walked away? And that was the last time that I saw her. And then she was gone. Then she was gone.
You're an advisor to the White House, aren't you?
Where'd
I
my
see,
date
I've been
go?
in disguise as you were talking to my colleague who wore a hidden camera, and I've been listening to your conversation about how the deep
you're
state
so
is real.
People joke about the deep state, but like to some degree, it's real.
Tell me more about that.
You're so screwed.
No, thank you. Have a good night.
Oh no, we
So
will.
you
talk.
mentioned that one of the ways that
We will
deep state
talk.
operates is the bureaucracy.
Did you guys see that? That was beautiful. Let's just replay that real quick.
Good night.
I gotta see this again.
About how the deep state is real.
People joke about the deep state, but
That's
like
beautiful.
to some degree, it's
It's a
real.
thing of beauty.
Tell me more about that.
No, thank you. Have a good night.
You're so,
So
screwed.
you mentioned
dude.
that one of the ways
You're
that the deep
screwed.
state operates, the bureaucracy, is that it creates commissions.
One of the ways you can slow things down in a bureaucracy is to sort of put together like a commission to study something,
Right,
and then
Blue.
years will pass and nothing has happened.
You said all these things, you're recorded. So if you could just elaborate a little bit more about what that means.
Yep. Dude, she's not coming back, bro. Hey, dude. Hey. She's not coming back. She's not coming back. That's not Jenny. Jenny ain't coming back, dude. Jenny lost your number. It's over. You're done. You're done. Right? She said, no, thank you. And he said, I don't want to do this. She ain't coming back, bro. She's not going to come running back. He goes, am I dreaming right now? This is a bad nightmare. I'm going to wake up from it any second, right? She's going to come back and be like, no, but I love him.
Byron?
She ain't
I'm not
coming
really interested
back.
in having this conversation.
Well, you've already
He's on the verge of crying right now.
had the conversation.
Yeah, clearly.
I have it all recorded. So,
It's lovely.
if you
It
could
is
just
lovely.
clarify for the American people, because people are really interested to know more about
is
how the
so
deep state
lovely.
operates. You clarified quite a bit. I have you on hidden camera. In fact, I was standing next to you
Yeah.
the whole time.
A little creepy.
Well, I think it's
Yes,
really
you
creepy
are.
that the deep
Yes, you
state
are.
is operating the way that you describe it. Bureaucracies, creating commission to slow things down. You even mentioned the word crushing incoming leadership.
RFK Jr. is a very bad pick for HHS. There's a good chance that the bureaucracy
so
just
good.
crushes
I
him.
love this.
Do you recall you saying that?
You guys hired someone to go on like fake dates with me.
Nope.
Yeah, it's investigative reporting.
They actually volunteer most of the time.
Definitely not a credit to you, but okay.
Oh, really? It's not? Really? Is it a credit to you that you are inside our government subverting the will of the people? Is that a credit to you, dumbass, that you're running your mouth thinking you're going to get laid because you never do? I don't know. Is that this is your way of, is it you're trying to manipulate the manipulator, impress her? I don't know. What are you trying to do with that girl? Right? What are you trying to do? But you're sitting there talking about how dirty and corrupt the government is, but that's a credit to you. But yet this woman who's a swiper just doing a job, You know, you decided to go with you decided to go out with her. Hey man, they picked up your tab, didn't they?
What about the deep state?
Look, no one denies that the bureaucracy exists.
Do you think it's a good thing?
That the bureaucracy exists.
Do you think it's a good thing for the bureaucracy to do what you were describing?
I think that in general, the bureaucracy ought to implement the policies of the elected leaders. I also think the bureaucracy has a responsibility to advise our elected leaders as best they can. There's a reason we don't have politicals throughout the civil service. It's only the top.
And what exactly is your role at the White House, or the advisor to the White House?
I advise on research and development policy.
I see.
Are we done here?
I don't know. You tell me.
You're going to follow me into the subway?
I will not be following you into the subway. But I'm fascinated. I think the American people want to know how this bureaucracy operates, and I think you've provided some clarity. So I thank you very much for that.
Have a nice night.
You too. Byron, advisor to the White House, very much shocked. Have a good evening, Byron. There he goes, shuffling along. Yeah.
Sad guy walking away.
Some very interesting reactions on the streets
Sad
of Washington,
guy.
D.C. Byron at the White
The
House.
establishment.
Just sort of slowly, he just sort of
Meanders
waddling
away.
along. And, you know,
Heartbroken.
I think he
I
was
really liked that
surprised
girl.
at
And she
first,
really liked
but he
me.
kind of talked to us a little bit. I think he's just in a state of total shock.
Oh
And
yeah.
you know what?
He realizes
Bureaucrats
it's
in Washington,
all over.
you're on notice.
And that was the moment he realized he done fucked up.
Okay? You are on notice. You
On
either
notice.
say these things openly and publicly and transparently, or we catch you on tape.
That's right.
Also known as investigative journalism.
That's right.
It is the nadir of immorality to hide these things from the public. And that's why we record you. We're going to be recording you en masse. Stay tuned. Reporting from the streets of Washington, D.C. This is James O'Keefe in disguise. They never recognize me.
Kick ass, dude. Whoop. Kick ass. Freaking awesome. I love those. Those are some of my favorites to cover. I love it. The guy was like, is she really gone? Is my date really over? Is she just hiding from this? What should I do now? Yeah, your date's over, dude. Your date is over. Date over. Go home now. Actually, you need to go home and go update your resume because you're going to be looking for a new job here real fast. I doubt that guy is working at the White House right now. Any updates on that? Look at Nacho, like having a good old time out there on the Rumble side, holding it down on the Rumble side. Man, hey, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up over Rumble, man. It's all up to you. It really is all up to you. 15 people watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Join, follow, subscribe. We're having a good time here. You know, do all that fun stuff. Follow. Because I do 5 to 6 base streams a week, and we have a lot of cool people here, and we do a lot of cool stuff. And we have some great things on the horizon, man. I'm telling you, if you enjoyed some of this content tonight, you are really going to like what we have coming up. Really going to like it. Like you wouldn't believe. Oh, that's nice. Let's leave it right there. Okay, so this weekend, let's talk about this weekend, guys. Let's talk about this weekend. Saturday night, no winning Saturday night this week. So hopefully you got some good news in tonight. And I try to mix some good news in what we're doing best I can. And old school watch party Sunday that I'm pretty sure my team is playing the late game, is playing a later game. Doesn't matter, because if we don't win, I'm not going to feel like talking to anybody anyway. So if we do win, I'm still going to be kind of like, I'm not going to feel like sitting still. But we're going to come back and for the following week, because there's a 2-week break between now and the Super Bowl. And if my team doesn't win, then we'll just be back. But if not, we'll come back a week from Sunday for Old School Watch Party Sunday, and then we'll do the following week will be Super Bowl Sunday. So obviously no, and then then after that we'll be back full time. So there you go, as best we can. I think I'm gonna cut. I think we still are only gonna do 3 of those a month now, just to kind of, because we're burning through documentaries and movies like you wouldn't believe. Like I need something. Right? We got to figure out what that something is, to make that work out better. Because either that or we're going to be doing rewatches. I don't know. But anyways, we want to keep that fun going for Sunday nights for you guys, but we probably will be a little bit more intermittent on that. Saturday night, obviously, we got things. Shelly and I got things to do this Saturday night, so we won't be able to do Winning Saturday night. We'll be back the following Saturday. Yes, with that. And don't forget, next week, is it Wednesday and Thursday, 29th and 30th, we'll be doing 2-day streams for RFK Jr.'s congressional hearing, our cabinet appointment hearing, and Tulsi Gabbard's. That's Thursday and Friday. So we'll be doing that, as well as a full bank of shows. We'll be back on Monday with Unread the Game for the next part in Kash Patel's Government Gangster book. We'll be reading about that and doing other things related to that book, talking about the corrupt deep state. We're just all over this thing right now. We're all over it. If you want to be based, awake and aware, and live in and have reality-based truth as part of your life, you're in the right spot. You're in the right. These are the right people. This is the right time. Make sure you subscribe, like, and do all those fun things. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for being part of the solution and being here. I really do enjoy spending this time with you, and I hope you have a great time as well. Get to know each other out there in the crowd, because you guys are the ones. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna head on out of here. So let me just figure out. I always do this and I go, well, hold on, let me figure out what I can do here for the community. Oops, that's not the one I wanted to do that to. Let me figure out what I can do here for the community. That's not it. All right, there we go. So let's go and see who is no, that can't be right. Is it right? Hold on, is that right? Am I seeing things right? Okay. Okay, so here we go. We got Oh man, I wonder what he's doing. What's Valiant Renegade doing? I like the guy. He's starting. He's Des Moines, Des Moines from Fast Times. He's like, he reminds me of that guy. Then we got Gary going. We'll probably do Gary for Rumble. And man, I almost want to see what's Valiant up to. Let me see what Valiant's doing tonight. He's doing something cool. What are you doing, Valiant Renegade? What? It says he's live, but is he? No. Why would you tell me? Why would you lie to me like that, YouTube? Why are you lying to me, YouTube? It's all right. Hold on. Yeah, no, but it's way down at the bottom. Oh, maybe it's members only. I don't know. I have no idea, but it might be members only. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's doing a members only stream. Oh my God, N5D. Remember those guys? There's some new age grifters right there, hippie grifters. I make tie-dye shirts, and I talk a bunch of trash that I never looked into, but I get a lot of them. Very popular because I've been around for 20 years. Yeah, I got a lot of these people on here on this list. Oh, Townsend's is funny. Townsend's is like if you like old, see, hold on. There's another one of these things where it says that they're live, but I don't see the live. Oh wait, there it is. Cooking Marathon, 18th century cooking episode. I love this guy though. I wonder if he'll let me redirect. I love these guys. These guys are awesome. You guys like cooking shows? All right, let me set this up real quick. Do you guys like cooking shows? This is 18th century cooking, and there's one guy that looks like Thomas Jefferson. He's literally cooking, which is phenomenal. We're gonna do. He's got a one. He's got. Sweet, this will be good. Maybe I'll just send you to Gary. Gary's got a good thing going on tonight. He's got some interview. Wait, I gotta take this back to my stream. All right, guys, excitement on the way. Thank you for sticking around. Tons is cool. I shouldn't have said funny, but they're fun. Okay, so if I type in raid, there we go. RD. All right, back it up. There we go. I hit send and confirmed. Okay, we will be. What? Oh. We'll try it again. Sorry, it's taking a minute. Guys, thank you again for so much. I know I wound you all up for the exit. Okay, let's try it like this. I wound you up for the exit, and then I waste a bunch of time blowing the hot take out with this stuff. Confirmed. All right, raid confirmed. You guys will raid Gary on that side, and we'll raid Gary on both sides. We're gonna hit him from both sides because he's got a great interview going on, and you guys need to go check it out. It is a great interview with a great dude who made a great documentary about Trump, and you don't want to miss this guy. He's really cool. He's a good dude. He's based as can be, and we are all set up, and we are out the door. Madcore Mofro, thank you for being here. Heidi, thank you for being here. Shinagram, thank you for being here. Snipe, thank you for being here. Nacho Kitty, thank you for being here. K Marshall, thank you for being here. Wolfram, thank you, my friend, for everything that you do. Shelly, as well to you, and to all those other ones. Blue Lantern, thank you for being here. All those other people out there that are part of the stream, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting Andrea Day, Ellie, Jacob Castro, Memento Mori, Arby, so many awesome people. I just want to say thank you personally to each and every one of you that have been here tonight and have added to the conversation. You guys rock this world. Now enjoy it and tell Gary, his friend winning reality, said hello. I'm going to get on out of here. And until next time, everybody stay based and keep on.
If you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands. If you've lost faith in humanity, and this is your villain origin story, if you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands.
This is a friendship that